KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeartRadio station. Available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. Number one for music, radio, and podcasts all in one. Here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910.
A second straight win for the Suns, who beat the Jazz to maintain their position as the number 4 seed in the West. Next up, the Timberwolves tomorrow, where Kevin Durant is on track to possibly return from that ankle sprain. The Coyotes suffered their 5th straight loss, falling to the Oilers. Clayton Keller's third-period assist, though, did extend his point streak to 14. Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon said he's continuing to operate as if DeAndre Hopkins will remain with the team despite being the subject of trade rumors. And the Diamondbacks taking on the Guardians in their final spring training game. Ryan Nelson received the starting nod. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Tuesday, look for mostly sunny skies out there. Temperatures getting up to about 80 degrees. And then for tonight, mostly clear with those temperatures dipping down into those low 50s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Maricopa Community Colleges.
Save money by getting your bachelor's degree at Maricopa Community Colleges. Now you can start your degree with us and finish it here too. For information on available degrees and participating colleges, visit maricopa.edu/bachelors.
All right, guys, here we go.
Calling all.
Sounds good, man.
You got Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored.
My only rule is that Jax doesn't talk once today.
And is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe in Iraq.
Just check the ratings, Jax. They don't like 20-year-olds.
602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
All right, you guys are hot.
Sports 910.
Hey, everybody, we say good afternoon to you on a glorious day in the Valley of the Sun. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, along with Jax. And, of course, we can't do the show without Ben taking care of us back at the studio at the iHeartRadio. We are here today at the Barrio Queen. And I'm so excited because today is not only Taco Tuesday, it is also El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well, Manuch.
Very good, Jimmy. You got it. You're practicing that Spanish from Mrs. Vlahos.
I'm working on
Spanish 101.
I'm working on
the
it. The
Barrio Queen. El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Y also Taco Tuesday. Out here at the Tempe location here at the Tempe Marketplace. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous outside this afternoon. Was a push, I think, 65 to 70 degrees. And this is why those 9 gazillion million people come to the Valley of the Sun.
Yes, they do.
They invade our roads. They take over the golf courses. And we thank you for coming in and helping with our economy.
We like your money. Now go away.
Yeah, absolutely. And with spring training winding down, it's funny, the 101 coming north on the 101 wasn't quite as packed because those Chicago Cubs games, they get packed. You got lines 2 miles long. Get off on the Rio Salado Parkway, come across, come over to Tempe Marketplace, do a right, a left, and here you are at the Barrio Queen in the Tempe Marketplace.
All right, we're going to be here for your listening and dancing pleasure until 4 o'clock this afternoon. We've got a great show lined up for you, but before we get to it, we want to remind everybody about the big weekend that we're going to have. We call it the Big Four weekend at the CAZ Sports Bar. It's all taking place at Casino Arizona. Here's the guest list with Roc and Manuch, Jax. Everybody's going to be there. 12-year NBA veteran and ASU standout guard Fat Lever is going to be our guest, along with 3-time NBA champion and North Carolina Tar Heel Scott Williams. He's going to be there as well. There'll be a special Q&A during and between the games on Saturday. You can win cash during all of the games, very similar to what we always do for the Super Bowl. And we had huge crowds at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick for our Super Bowl parties. We expect the joint to be jumping and be packed as well this coming Saturday and then again on Monday. It opens up at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If for more details, you can just go to rocandmanuch.com. All right, let's go.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
I think it's pretty simple that the Suns rolled into Salt Lake City last night with snow all over the ground. And then as soon as they whipped up on the Jazz, they got the hell out of town and came back where it's nice and comfortable and dry and warm. Manuch, they did what they were supposed to do. It was a business trip, and they beat the Jazz 117-103 in Utah last night.
You know, they came out with the same kind of energy they had in the fourth quarter of the last game, right? Mm-hmm. You saw that victory. 37 points that very first quarter. Kind of waned a little bit there in that second quarter, but you get 57 points in the first half, and then they continue to come out. But again, the fourth quarter, 33 points in that fourth quarter, and holding Utah under 60 points, which has been a little bit of a nemesis for this Suns team to have teams scoring 60 points. Last two games, the victories, holding the opposing team under 60 points. But guys, was I telling you yesterday in reference to the bench, 53 points on Monday night, on Sunday. And then you look at this game last night, 57 points off the bench. Jimmy, hopefully they can sustain that night in and night out when they get to the playoffs tomorrow night, obviously against the T-Wolves. But it's kind of like Monty Williams, when he talked about his team, and he talked about this bench coming together and understanding their roles. And I got to tell you what, they're getting hot at the right time. DA had a good game coming off the, 5 or 6, 7 days he was, 14 points and 8 rebounds.
Yep. That was about what I expected out of him. He did play 30 minutes, which coming back after that bruised hip situation, that was a good amount of minutes for him to get in. I think you were correct on your assessment on the bench because in last night's game, Bismack Biyombo was 5 of 7 for 11 points and 12 points for Cameron Payne coming off the bench, 13 for Terrence Ross off the bench. So your point is well taken about how the bench, again, finally has rediscovered their consistency.
Well, 7 out of the 11 three-pointers were from the bench.
Yes.
So you look at that, and, with Ish Wainwright hitting 3 out of 5 from three-point land, and Cam Payne, who looks like, I don't want to jinx the guy, not that I believe in that. He's starting to look more like.
Why did you even reference
I'm going to put it out there just to make sure he proves me wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong, Cam Payne, that you're the guy that we saw 2 years ago on a consistent basis. He looks confident with the shot. Some of the layups he's had high off the glass. And, Jimmy, I don't know about you, but it looks like he's a little more under control going to the rim.
Maybe.
I mean, he would go at the rim at fifth gear, and he'd put up a wing and a prayer on a layup. And that thing would either clank or go in, one of the two. But he just looks more under control. And I think Monty's told him, look, slow it down. Let the guys get in position. We'll spread the floor out, and we'll go from there. So, again, you get 53 points from the bench a couple nights ago. You get 57 points last night. So I think, and let's just hope that this bench can continue that throughout the next 7 games into the playoffs.
And even better news, it's being reported from Shams Charania that Kevin Durant will make his return tomorrow against the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is perfect timing, I believe, because Minnesota's playing really good ball right now. They won 4 straight. Guys like Cat, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards, obviously. This is a team that, right now, they're the 6th spot.
Naz Reid has really come on for the T-Wolves.
So you look at the Suns are holding their half-game lead in that 4th spot. So you guys talk about the T-Wolves tomorrow night. And then on Denver, Friday night here, home game, who can shoot the lights out when they get hot. And then you travel to OKC again, that Oklahoma City Thunder team on Sunday. So you've got competitive games.
Absolutely.
I think more than anything, guys, it keeps you sharp, keeps you on your toes, and you're still fighting to retain that number 4 spot.
Well, that brings us then to our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day for a free quote, repair, or installation. Just head to state48roofing.com. You can always follow them on social media by searching #SexyRoofsStatus. So here's the question. do you feel confident, and Manuch has been on this kick the last couple of days, so rightfully so. Do you feel confident the Suns bench will remain a major contributor once the playoffs begin? Your options are yes, they are now dialed in, or no, too inconsistent.
Well, and again, let's just hope that this team can remain, I always say consistently consistent,
right?
Because you're going to need that. So a couple things when I look at this Suns bench, scoring obviously, and then number two, all of the minutes these guys have played this year. And I feel right now, Jimmy, watching this bench play, that they've got their second win. They know their roles. They know what they need to do. And now with KD reportedly coming back, because it's not officially official till the Suns report it, him coming back will get this team in sync. And then there's the quasi adjustment now that KD's back, how Monty's going to utilize that bench with all these guys finally getting hot, and with them getting hot, how to get them their minutes. So it's all hands on deck for the next 7 games as they get ready for the playoffs.
I'm with you on that. I'm really looking forward to the final 7. It's going to be a lot of fun. The NFL owners meeting continuing here also in Phoenix. And a couple of things from that meeting today. One, the owners voted that now, and I'm so excited about this, don't ask me why, that you can have the number 0 on your jersey. Manuch, does that blow your skirt up or not? Do you care?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, the last 00 we had was Burrows with Houston. Kenny Burrow many years ago. God rest his soul, just passed away here about a couple months ago. But that was a 00. So as far as 0 through 99, it's legit.
Okay.
And the most famous 99 I can remember is my good buddy Mark Gastineau when he used to play with the New York Jets. So
the sack exchange.
Yeah, and I guess nowadays you can have different numbers. Different people can have different numbers. So 0, yeah, that's exciting news coming out of those owners meetings over there at the Biltmore, Jimmy. Anything else that they're working on over there in the meantime?
Here's an interesting tidbit. We've heard all the rumors about DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, and apparently through these rumors and reports, it has been opened up for him to have permission to speak to other teams. Well, then you have the coach come out, Coach Gannett, say, well, I expect him to be here when we start training camp and everything's just rosy.
You know what's funny about that is because it's being reported. It's being reported. He's got to know this, that they've been seeking a second-round pick and other compensation in return for the wideout.
Correct.
So here's Jonathan Gannon, the head coach, going, well, we would love to have him and want those guys to suit up with their numbers on and come out and this and that. It's like, wait, but he did preface it by saying, well, that's up to Monty Ossenfort to go and handle all of that. When it's being reported, and then he's saying, well, would love to have him back, whatever. It's kind of coach speak to the point of, it would be, well, right now, Monty Ossenfort is looking to work on all that. We would love to have him back, but if it doesn't work out, we've got to move forward with the guys we have. It's like, Jonathan.
1 minute.
John, he's gone unless something happens, but they want a second-round pick? I think you may want to acquiesce and go 3rd or 4th round on that.
What's more tiring, hearing about Aaron Rodgers not getting traded yet or DeAndre Hopkins and the Cardinals not being able to get something done? I mean, let's just get this over with. Please.
And you got to think of with Green Bay getting peppered with all the questions about you're talking about the head coach was getting peppered a little bit with all the things that he's getting peppered with in reference to Aaron Rodgers. I think that ship has sailed. I don't know what happens with Rodgers. If this thing goes south, does he come back? He's under contract. He can come back and play if he wants to.
Yep.
Does he want to play? Does he retire and go off into the sunset? There's just way too much of a soap opera drama going on with the Packers right now. Cardinals, it's what are you going to get for DA? You want a second-round pick reportedly? Do you want to get rid of him? Who are you going to go to camp with?
I'm with you.
It's right now, I think it's just a big vicious circle.
Hey, everybody, we're doing the show today live, of course, from the Barrio Queen here in Tempe Marketplace. There are 7 locations, not only here in Tempe, but Queen Creek, Gilbert, Glendale, Avondale, Desert Ridge, Old Town, and Scottsdale. The Barrio Queen. And by the way, you need to celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's an ultra premium tequila, and it's made from 100% blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Am I getting better at this?
Very good, Jimmy.
Thank you, my brother. El Bandito certified, additive-free Blanco, and features a unique oxygenation process which delivers a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. In the meantime, you want to make sure that when you're hanging out with us or anytime you're at a Barrio Queen, you get the El Bandito Yankee tequila. We got more, by the way, coming up on that when we have a guest in our second hour, as we will do a pick'em contest with a guy in charge of that tequila. All right, coming up, we are going to do some more conversation, and we're also going to give you the Valley Chevy Dealers Sounds of the Night. It is next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
The Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em is back. Win 910 on 910 Bracket Challenge presented by Dos Equis. Win man cards after every round. Win the entire bracket and take home a $910 man card. Plus your height in Dos Equis. Head to fanpick'em.com.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters and a game and a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Right Toyota, the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the state of Arizona, ensures you a buying experience that will exceed all your expectations. Check it out for yourself. Located just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at wrighttoyota.com.
I often get asked, how can Lerner & Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal cases when you guys are a personal injury law firm? The answer is simple. We're good at it. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a separate law firm from Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys, and we have some of the most experienced criminal defense attorneys available, including one of only a few certified criminal attorneys in Arizona who have handled thousands of criminal and DUI cases. And we offer affordable payment plans. Getting the defense you need is one phone call away.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
If you own a small business, you've probably been hearing a lot about the ERC, how it's worth up to $26,000 per employee, how easy it is. You know the spiel. So why am I still talking to you about it now? Because many of you still haven't filed a claim, but Innovation Refunds can help you close the book on this thing. They're backed by one of those big CPA firms the corporations use so they can determine once and for all if your business qualifies, and it's free to find out. Go to innovationrefunds.com. That's innovationrefunds.com.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Meant for mornings. The Drive with Jody Ayler. Listen tomorrow, 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 910. Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Guys are hot. 5 seconds.
Valley Barrio Queen locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, everybody, welcome back in. Yes, we are in Tempe in the marketplace at the Barrio Queen, and we are hanging out, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Jax, Ben. It is indeed Fox Sports 910, also 99.9 FM, HD2, and on the iHeartRadio app. And it is indeed right now time for our Valley Chevy Dealers Sounds of the Games, and we're going to begin. And it'll be difficult for me to set this one up because it was TV, and it was much better to watch it on TV. But in the Pacers-Dallas Mavericks game last night, loose ball, it starts to trickle toward the right-hand corner of the court. For the Mavericks, Luka Doncic runs it down. He is trapped in the corner and double-teamed there by two Pacer defenders. He looks over his shoulder and sees an open man on the other side of the court in the other corner and just takes a Nolan Ryan fastball and shoots it to him. Nobody's guarding him. He scores the three-pointer. That, if you can visualize that, is what we're going to play for you right now.
Wood with the pass. Luka able to chase it down. They got him trapped on the sideline. They fouled in a situation like that before. How on earth did he find Hardy?
Oh, man, that was awesome. Thank you to Bally's Sports for that as well. Manuch, I've looked at it several times. It's an unbelievable play.
It's a very good job explaining that, Jimmy, just like the play-by-play professional you are. Basically, when you get in the corner, those right angles come together, it creates that right angle. He had two guys on him. They're waving their arms. He kind of leaps out of bounds. How he was able to throw it across court underneath the basket.
He threw it under the backboard and rim support.
And to Hardy, who's wide open, he kind of sets his feet and hits the three. But I got to tell you what, I've seen a lot of fastballs. Nolan Ryan would have been proud of that.
Yeah, he would have.
Ben Roethlisberger, who threw frozen ropes for many, many years.
He did.
But it just you watch the athleticism of Luka Doncic over and over and over, and it's kind of like what can't this guy do? And you watch that play, and he virtually had nowhere else to go. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, you realize what kind of vision this guy has. You talk about the great quarterbacks or the Wayne Gretzky's great vision on the ice and shooters. We talk about Magic Johnson and coming down as a point guard. Steve Nash, the great vision he had.
John Stockton.
Yeah, he turns around. There's no way you're going, okay, he's going to shoot this over the – I thought initially he would do like Larry Bird and just as he's going about, just shoot it over the top of the basket and then go in. But – once again, just the athleticism of what Luka Doncic shown bright in last night's game.
And the Mavericks won that game. Here's Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd, and he is talking about what he witnessed with that Luka Doncic pass.
He was kind of trapped. I think that's what he does when he's one of the best passers in the league. He can find guys. He's strong enough. I don't know if anybody else can make that pass, and then to be able to catch and shoot. Hardy did that, I think, not just once but a couple times tonight from Luka's double teams and or some of the passes. Again, he can make passes most guys can.
That is Jason Kidd, the coach of the Mavs. And he made a great point there because I think people have a tendency to forget because Doncic can score on anybody at almost any time. But he is a willing passer, and he is an excellent passer, Manuch.
And I think he realizes they're in a must-win situation every game. Yeah. And Jason Kidd talking about the passing prowess. I watch Luka, and I see a little bit more of a hybrid of a Larry Bird that can Larry pretty much wasn't a point guy. Larry was probably a 3 or 4 tool kind of player where Luka can virtually play every position. So when you watch him play and you watch all the things that he can do, but scoring the 25 points, hitting 4 threes last night, understand this team has got to win. Mm-hmm. And they were on a major skid that they definitely got to win.
Now, they blew out Indiana last night.
They did. And so those are some of the things when you watch Luka and his prowess as a basketball player. And I don't know if I'd call him a shooting guard, a power forward.
No, he's just a stud. He's a stud.
He's an all-around basketball player.
Yep, that's exactly right. All right, so you heard from Jason Kidd, the head coach of the Mavericks. How about the opposing coach? It's Rick Carlisle. He coaches the Pacers, who, by the way, used to coach the Dallas Mavericks. So here now is Rick Carlisle giving his assessment of that play.
It's tough. A couple of the passes Luka makes are just unbelievable. There's only one guy in the world that can do that. And but in those situations, we gotta bounce back and keep playing. And we didn't do that well enough tonight. So it's just a rough game.
Well, all I can tell you is that I looked at it I saw the highlights of it on TV, and then I looked at it about 10 times after that. Online.
It's funny you say that, Jimmy. I did too. I looked at it like 3 or 4 times. Number one, being trapped like that. the thing is, and folks, if you go online, take a look at it, you'll see it, how he got the ball across court as quickly as he did to find Hardy wide open. So those are some of the things when you take a good look at watching Luka that you appreciate more and more. And I think that more so than anything are some of the things I like to see. Those are the sounds of the day driven by Valley Chevy Dealers. Valley Chevy Dealers serving the Valley for over 80 years. Find all the new certified pre-owned vehicles today at valleychevy.com. That's valleychevy.com. The number one Valley Chevy dealer every month for the past 2 years of valleychevydealers.com.
And did you know that the Chevy Silverado right now is the number one best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup truck? Well, you're shopping for a new one or a certified used vehicle. You need to visit your Valley Chevy dealers today. There are 13 dealers in the Valley offering the very best and offers on trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and cars. And when you have the Silverado, the number one best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup, you owe it to yourself to check it all out, especially during truck season. It's going on right now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today. Once again, just visit valleychevy.com. So, Manuch, are you with the word that Kevin Durant is most likely going to see action tomorrow night? Does this make your antenna go up even higher?
No, I'm just glad he's back.
Okay.
You got 7 games to go, and I think he needs to get back in basketball shape. Game shape. And I think with 7 games, I think Monty at that point, hopefully everybody stays healthy and nobody gets hurt. DA back, KD back, and you got all the pieces back to be healthy. I don't think there's anybody that's injured. Landry Shamet didn't play the other night. He played last night, but didn't get any points. So get everybody settled.
Okay.
Get your roles. Dress rehearsal. Let's get it ready. Get everybody rested up. You're gonna have a few. Yeah, you're gonna have a few days, of downtime before whomever you play. But you got to hold that 4 spot, Jimmy, because you got the Clippers are right there on your heels.
They are,
and then you've got several other teams that are right there. It's amazing to see the differential, the minor differential for the top 10 teams in this thing. Now you got your top 2 or top 3. You got Golden State looking to clamor in there. And I think a lot of teams don't want that play in. But
No,
it won't be
you don't want to be.
But it won't be heartburn if they do. But I'm just saying for the Suns, get KD back, win out the next 7 games or 6 out of 7. You're good to go. Rest, and let's go get it. Let's go get after it.
All right, coming up in our next segment, we're going to have a conversation with former Cardinals defensive end Kyle Vanden Bosch. We're going to get his thoughts on the potential trade of wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, and are the Cardinals for sure going to take at number 3 Will Anderson? It's next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
What's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix?
The Suns will get Kevin Durant back in the lineup for Wednesday's game versus the Timberwolves. He's missed the last 10 with a sprained ankle. A 5th straight loss for the Coyotes as they were beaten by the Oilers. Clayton Keller, though, had a third-period assist. That extended his point streak to 14 games. Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon said he's continuing to operate as if DeAndre Hopkins will remain with the team despite being the subject of trade rumors. Gannon also confirmed the team's recent operational changes that included facility upgrades. The Diamondbacks playing their last game of the spring at Matinee Till with the Guardians. Ryan Nelson got the start. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Whether it's beer and wings with the guys or a steak or ribs with that special someone, Tavern Grill Scottsdale is the place to be. Tavern Grill is now the home of Huss Brewing Company's Roc and Manuch Lager. Tavern Grill Scottsdale at 8880 East Via Linda.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio.
Guys are hot, 5 seconds.
Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
That's right, everybody. We are broadcasting today in the Tempe Marketplace at the Barrio Queen. I'm getting better, Manuch. I keep practicing. It just kind of rolls out right now, Manuch being my Spanish instructor. Right now, we're going to talk a lot of NFL football, and why not? Because Kyle Vanden Bosch, former Cardinals, Titans, and Lions defensive end, is our guest. He generally joins us on a Tuesday, and today is no exception. Kyle, it's Jimmy B and Manuch. Thank you, pal, as always. So all of a sudden, we hear rumors and reports that, okay, wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins can negotiate and talk to other teams. And then the coach, Gannon, comes out and he says, well, I don't know anything about that. I expect to see him in a couple of weeks here when we have a little practice session. Who's telling the truth here? Can you decipher this for us?
Well, first of all, pre-draft, anybody from coaches to front office, if they're talking, they're probably lying.
I love it.
It's just part of the deal, man. You gotta try to figure out, decipher what they're saying or why they're saying it, and. To Coach Gannon's credit, starting with this introductory press conference, he made it very clear that whoever's wearing a Cardinals uniform in the fall, he's going to coach them and do his best or have his staff do their best to help them reach their potential. But you don't ever, it's about creating leverage right now. If you're a motivated seller, obviously the value of either the product or the player that you're trying to deal in this case goes down. It's to me, it's a negotiating tactic. Obviously, no deal is imminent. I do believe that they've given DeAndre Hopkins and his camp permission to talk to other teams, because to me that would be one of the hangups at this point. I think a trade and fair compensation, or whatever is deemed as fair compensation at this point, is not the hangup. It would be the fact that DeAndre Hopkins has 2 years left on his deal, but no guaranteed money. So whether the trade happens or whether DeAndre Hopkins remains an Arizona Cardinal, he's going to want a new deal before he gets on the field next season.
And I think what you said there, Kyle, is everybody's talking code this time of year and trying to figure out what they're doing, what they're not doing. But I think that what you just said there at the end, the restructuring of the contract, if he does stay, because he wants that new deal. He wants to go get paid. Cardinals reportedly seeking a second-round pick for him as of now. Market's been set with Brandon Cooks getting they give up a fifth-rounder to get him, that being the Dallas Cowboys. That's a large gap, third, fourth rounder, if they're seeking to get something very comparable on that.
Yeah, but let's be clear. Brandon Cooks is not DeAndre Hopkins.
Right, exactly.
DeAndre Hopkins, say what you want about him. I think a lot of Arizona Cardinals fans soured on him last year with the suspension and him still fighting through injury, I guess, at the end of last season. At times looking a little bit disgruntled on the field. You can say what you want about him. In my opinion, and just from my eyes, he's still a top 5 impact type wide receiver. And when I talk about teams and coaches and front offices posturing at this point, there's so many reasons you can do it to increase the value of the asset you're trying to get or try to increase what you can get in return for them. Also, when I was with the Detroit Lions, we drafted Ndamukong Suh, and he was dominant his rookie year. And what it did is it made our divisional opponents for the next 2 or 3 years draft guards earlier than they typically would. I mean, they're drafting first and second round guard. So, it's your first step as a team, period. But as a new coach and as a new GM is to try to win your division. That's goal number 1. And, there's always these games being played between you and your divisional rivals. And, they at this point have to prepare for an Arizona Cardinals team with DeAndre Hopkins on the field next year. Mm-hmm. And so the longer you can, kind of lead them along and, make sure that they are worried about that in the very least. I think it helps to a degree.
Kyle Vandenbosch joining us, former Arizona Cardinal, Titan, and Detroit Lion. Here on the right Toyota guest sign, Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B out here at Barrio Queen in Tempe. Looking at how things are playing out in the free agents the Cardinals are signing, or lack thereof, a lot of backup guys with some experience. You got to like that kind of plug and play to an effect. And then you got the draft right around the corner, Kyle. It's just right there. Yeah. That number 3 pick's got Will Anderson written all over it. And the way that they're setting themselves up by by getting these free agents, seems as though they may not mess around, go right after him in that 3rd pick.
Yeah, no, it's starting to look like that. And, the only other scenario I see is the Colts trading up and getting at least another 2nd or 3rd round pick, moving up one spot to make sure they get a quarterback. The more I think about it, what they need, obviously they need bodies. At this point, they couldn't field the team. They couldn't even get through, a mini camp. With Colt McCoy hurt, you've got one arm in David Blau that'd be able to throw a ball. So, they need bodies, they need positions, they need quality players. But, looking at what Will Anderson can do and how he can impact the game, what we have right now in our defensive front, you've got a group of defensive tackles that have over their careers combined 6.5 sacks. Wow. Got 2 rookies last year as edge rushers, Cam Thomas and Myjai Sanders, that had 3 sacks apiece last year. And at this point, they appear to be the only ones that might be able to get pressure on the quarterback next year. There's been some talk about possibly trading down, getting more picks and still being able to get the best corner available, assuming you can still stay inside the top 10. But a corner does you no good if you can't get pressure on a quarterback. You can make up for a lot of problems in coverage on the back end if you have a consistent, disruptive edge or inside rusher that can get pressure on the quarterback, speed up his clock, mess up his timing. So, you've got to at least get, Will Anderson or somebody that can get in the backfield and get pressure on the quarterback. And to me, it's not just his production, his stats, the things he did in college. I love his effort. I love the fact that he never quits on a play. I love his backside pursuit. And when all else fails, when he's overmatched against a veteran offensive tackle that he can't beat, he can't get pressure on a quarterback, at least he's still affecting the game with the way he plays and his effort and just his relentless attitude.
I want to ask you, and I promise I won't ask you this question again until training camp starts, because I've asked it before, but I'm going to ask it in a different frame this time. And Kyle, that is this team, the way that their roster so far is constructed, are they the bottom feeder in your estimation right now in the NFC West?
Right now, yes. You look at what we did in free agency, and I like some of the players we signed. Going back to, again, one of the first things Jonathan Gannon said is he wants to help players reach their ceiling. There's a number of players that have a higher ceiling than what they've shown this far. And, one player that I think about is Zach Pascal. Now, nobody's going to be real excited about that signing, but he plays hard. He had, pretty good production for a couple years in a row, but was on a roster with just such talented wide receivers and offensive weapons. He just, was an afterthought. So players like that could, really step up. My concern is, there was a huge amount of turnover. Let's set aside the front office and coaching staff, just the roster. And this team's going to look completely different
3 minutes
last year. And the free agents we signed, 9 of them are on 1-year contracts, and the other 7 are on 2-year contracts. So there's going to be more turnover next year at some point, and hopefully we hit some home runs with this draft. You've got to have guys on 4-year, 5-year contracts that become your cornerstone guys that you can build around. Guys like Buda Baker, guys that they're going to be there. They can help establish the culture and they can lead your team. It's difficult, when you're basically rented talent for a season, you step in and lead the team, and to have, skin in the game when you realize you're probably not going to be there the next year. You're just trying to play selfishly, trying to build your own numbers to increase your own value. So the next time you hit free agency next offseason, you might get that longer term deal. So, I just don't see a lot other than maybe a handful of guys that will be a part of the Cardinals in, 4 years. And that's what we need to find. The guys that align with Jonathan Gannon's vision, that with
2 minutes.
the Awesome Force vision of building a roster, and can provide some continuity from year to year, because the way free agency has gone, we're going to have a ton of guys up that are going to be free agents again next year, and there's going to be a huge turnover in the roster again for the second consecutive year.
Boy, Kyle, you nailed it right there, because you got to be careful that those guys, you like you said, they keep around when they see what's going on with the new regime rebuilding, and they're coming toward the end of their contract and they're playing at the top of their game. They're going, well, I don't want to stick around and be part of this rebuilding. I want a shot to win it all. I've got 4, 5, 6 years, and I think you just eloquently stated it there. You got to be careful that even though you're rebuilding, you're still trying to win in order to keep those guys on the back end that are knowledgeable and know how to win, and you don't lose them.
Right. And when players that do the right thing every day, that perform, that are your culture type guys, when they get those contract extensions or when they get the long-term deals, that does a lot for your locker room. It does a lot for the players and how they view how things are run. But when they see our locker room is full of 1 or 2 year guys, it's difficult to build a culture that way, because even if you are doing everything the right way and you kind of see yourself out of the door during the off season or during free agency, it sends a bad message, particularly to the young players and your draft picks.
It's always good, pal, when you take time with us. We always enjoy this segment tremendously. Have a great day, Kyle.
Hey, you guys too. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. There you go. That's Kyle Vanden Bosch, his thoughts on the NFL and, of course, the Arizona Cardinals.
Guys, you got to really think about that.
Yeah.
You got all these 1-2 year deals, free agents coming and going, kind of the old revolving door effect. If you're an established veteran, the Buda Bakers of the world, the Jalen Thompsons of the world, even Kyler Murray as a quarterback, seeing what's going on. And to your point, Jimmy, if you're in the doldrums the next couple of years, you're in the basement and you're not seeing improvement. When my contract's up, I'm not going to give an extension. I want to go test the free agency market.
Absolutely.
Because I want to win it all before my game's over. Basically, I've got 3-4 more years left. I want to try to win it all. When I'm not seeing a team or an organization try to win it all and move forward.
And an example, when he talked about those building blocks that will change the culture, look at the Eagles. Fletcher Cox,
Absolutely.
Brandon Graham, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson. Those are guys that have been there for 7, 8, 10 years, and they've been to 2 Super Bowls, including winning one a couple years ago.
All right, that's particular segment as we continue to broadcast live from the Barrio Queen in the Tempe Marketplace. And coming up next, we're going to take you back in time. It is What Happened on This Day. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Odd Couple.
Mike check.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
Kawhi's playing phenomenal. He's averaging 27 points.
You talking to me, Jimmy?
In this calendar year. But they can't win the championship.
I sure do. Give me one quick second.
Without Paul George. They've made some trades. They got Ty Lue, who is a fabulous coach. But every time you turn around, there's some injury or something happens.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Today at 4.
I think you're teasing Bobby Mack, Jimmy.
Fox Sports 910.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Online at Vans Golf Shops today. Don't miss it. It's happening this week. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
The right price, the right selection. It's all now at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Stop by today and see why Wright Toyota continues to be Arizona's top Toyota dealership, located just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard and online at wrighttoyota.com.
Shopping for a mortgage? Big banks can be a big hassle. Call GC Global Capital and work with a local team of mortgage experts for great rates and lower fees, more options, and faster closings. Don't let your dream home purchase turn into a nightmare. Call the professionals at GC Global Capital, 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital, your local mortgage professionals. GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker, NMLS 1091187, license MB 0924983, an equal opportunity lender.
They say there are 2 things you can't avoid, death and taxes, but they don't know about AC Doctors Heating and Cooling. I have an AC Doctors air filtration system, a new AC, and I work out, so I'm a doctor of sorts. I might live forever. And taxes? Well, I just had a brand new AC unit installed with a $2,000 federal tax credit, not to mention thousands of dollars in rebates, discounts, and utility savings. So do what the doctor ordered. An apple a day? And call AC Doctors at 602-767-7435 or visit theacdoctors.com for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advanced can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $37.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The Drive with Jody Ayler, now in mornings. Tomorrow from 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 910. Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio
guys are hot.
locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, everybody, welcome back in. Yep, this is where we are located here in the Tempe Marketplace, and it is also El Tequila Yankee Bandito. Oh, I love this Tequila Day as well, Manuch.
El Bandito Yankee Tequila. There you
That's
go.
it.
You're in the neighborhood.
I was close. I was close. Yeah, I figure it's kind of like when you played lawn darts. If you got it near the circle, I was close enough.
Yeah. That's that. They are when the sponsor's online, you want to make sure you get the correct name of the sponsor. El Bandito Yankee Tequila.
There you go. That is
the
it.
Barrio Queen.
That's it. That's us. Hey, we are here talking sports, and we want to remind you. Look, we know everybody's brackets are busted, right? So why not get in on our 4-team bracket contest for $100 Twin Peaks man card and your height in Dos Equis. That's correct. $100 Twin Peaks man card and your height in Dos Equis. All you got to do is just go to Fan Pick'em and sign up right now.
Well, on this day, 1992, who doesn't remember this? Christian Laettner hits a 15-foot turnaround jumper at the buzzer to give defending champion Duke a 104-103 overtime victory over Kentucky and 5th consecutive trip to the Final Four. Now, Jimmy, you probably know this. Great trivia question. Who threw the inbounds pass?
Oh, it wasn't Grant Hill. It was, oh, man.
I thought you might know that.
I did.
I think everybody thinks Grant Hill.
No,
I thought
it's
it was
not.
Grant
No,
Hill.
it's not.
I know, it wasn't, though.
No, it's the other. All right, Manuch.
Let that marinate.
No.
I'll get to the next one because I got another North Carolina guy here.
Okay, but I want you to know something. I'm sitting at the press table when that shot takes place. I'm working in Philly, and that game was one of the most incredible college basketball games I have ever seen. I'm at the press table because I was doing TV then in Philly at the time, and that pass, the shot, everything about it. Everybody remembers that, but they have a tendency to forget the game was in overtime.
Yes, yeah. And was it called the Great Eight or the Elite Eight back in those days? I thought it was the Great Eight
I thought
for some
it might
reason.
have been. I think it was all we
Get
yes,
to the Final Four.
correct.
To get to that Final Four.
Tell me the guy's name. It's driving me crazy.
I don't know. You would know.
I'll look at the video real quick.
That's what I said.
And then I'll let you know.
Let it marinate there. And speaking of blue blood, you remember this one. 1995, Michael Jordan, playing in his 5th game in 22 months, scores 55 points to lead the Chicago Bulls to 113-111 victory over the New York Knicks. Think about that. He hadn't played in 22 months.
Right.
Comes back, scores 55 points in that 113-111 victory over the Knicks. Now, stop and think about a couple things here. You think of Michael Jordan going and playing baseball for a year,
right?
Taking time off, coming back. I don't know. Where did he get ready? It took him like 2 months to get prepped. But here he comes in 95. And you probably remember this very, very well, Jimmy. For him to come back and to make that happen because of that baseball triage, if you will, and to come back against the Knicks and score 55 points. You had to see that front and center. 2012, the NFL's new rule for postseason. What do you got there, Jackson?
Well, timeout.
Yeah.
I'm watching the video. It's Grant Hill.
So I thought it was Grant Hill.
Oh, okay.
It's Grant Hill.
Oh, okay.
Look,
you can see it. All right.
right there.
Yeah.
In clear.
Yeah.
G. Hill.
Okay, it is Grant Hill.
Jimmy, you said you were courtside.
I was, but I'm at the other end.
Well, didn't you say you
I
said
thought it was Grant Hill.
You said that it wasn't though.
Grant Hill.
Well, I thought it was
and
initially.
I thought, okay.
I figured Jimmy was
You
right
old
there.
ass.
I was
Give me-
right there. I
Give me
should have
50
known.
push-ups, Jimmy.
Yeah, you
Come
got
on.
that right.
2012, the NFL's new rule for postseason overtime is expanded to cover the regular season on a 30-2 vote by the NFL owners. Now, all games are going to overtime cannot end on a field goal on the first possession. Now, what's interesting about that is for the owners to agree to have regular season overtimes versus going into the postseason with overtimes, because you went hallelujah. First and foremost, you're thinking, well, okay, we're going to end this game in a tie. So you're so thankful they would continue on. But what I like is that it would not end with a field goal. What they need to change, though, Jimmy, hear me loud and clear.
Okay,
guys,
I'm listening.
is if that team wins the coin toss in overtime, they go down and score like the Chiefs a couple years ago in the AFC Conference Championship against the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
And scored game, set, match. You've got to give the opposing team an opportunity to match that. And I hope that comes back to fruition, whether it's this owners meeting down at the Biltmore right now, whether I think they end tomorrow. You got to give the other team a chance. The Bills never had a chance after that great comeback.
Wait, it happened to the Kansas City Chiefs. Don't just be bemoaning your Bills.
I know.
Tom Brady in New
I
England
got
did
it.
the same thing in Kansas City.
Either way, you got to have an opportunity to at least match that and then go from there.
Well, they made that rule after that coin toss for the postseason, but they haven't made it for the regular season yet. So is that what you're alluding to?
Yes,
Because they
exactly.
we didn't
3
see
minutes.
it this postseason because there wasn't an overtime game. But they did say that if there was a touchdown on the first possession, the other team would have a chance to
exactly. But they need to do that for the playoffs
and regular season.
Gotcha. That's the whole thing. 2019, it's opening day baseball across the major leagues as all 30 teams are active. 1 week after preliminary 2-game opening series in Japan. A record number of homers are hit that day. 48 across the major leagues. That'll never happen again. Leading the charge of the Dodgers, who hit an opening day 8 long balls in there. I remember this. In their 12-5 win over the Diamondbacks. Interesting because you saw that and everybody got in on it. I think everybody hit a home run except for the manager in the clubhouse that hit it.
The bat boy.
And last but not least, Brian Steenberg of Variety reported on Monday that the Basketball Hall of Famer Charles Barkley has a deal with CNN for a new TV gig. Barkley and Gayle King, who's with CBS right now, are jointly leading an hour-long primetime show on the network every week, and that's going to probably start here soon. So interesting that it's not going to interfere with his TNT games and obviously her CBS show, that this new gig likely is going to have them for an hour long. I don't know if it's going to be a variety show or a talk show or whatever. I would just let them have Barkley talk for an hour. She can set him up.
She can set him up and let him go.
She can just let him go. He can talk about Kevin Durant. He can talk about this and talk about that. I'll tell you what, maybe those CNN ratings will come back around with Barkley and King. Barkley and King coming at you soon on CNN.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And you have to remember that Barkley already works for CNN. CNN is the ownership group of TNT, TBS, all of those channels. So he's already dialed in, and he had a new contract with them as well.
Remember when Joe Namath was doing that variety show? I think it was Mr. Belvedere many, many years ago. I think it lasted like 7 weeks. And most times, folks, a comedy series, sitcom will last, 12, 13 weeks.
Right.
That didn't even make it halfway through.
I remember Magic Johnson trying to host the late night talk show. That was dreadful.
See, you guys remember there was a guy named Arsenio Hall.
Yes, he was great.
He had a show
I enjoyed
for several years, and then they tried Magic Johnson
30
to do the same kind of thing. That lasted, a month, Jimmy?
I don't even know if it lasted that long.
If that.
I think 2 weeks it was toast. Hey, we're going to take a break at the top of the hour. When we come back, we're going to dive into the top stories as well. It's our El Bandito Yankee Tequila Pickup Contest with the founder, Jim Bob Morris. He's going to join us in our second segment. Also, the color analyst for K-State, Stan Weber, will be our guest as well.
Have you been arrested for something you didn't do? When your liberty is on the line, you need an aggressive, experienced attorney to defend your rights. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is the firm you can trust with your freedom. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state. And with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. Call Lerner & Rowe today for a free consultation. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's turbo high output engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, this is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
Of course, your favorite station is on the free iHeartRadio app. Take us with you anywhere and listen anytime. Plus, get thousands of other stations.
Getting up to about 80 degrees. And then for tonight, mostly clear with those temperatures dipping down into those low 50s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay
I'm leaving
Guaranteed
right
Fit,
after
the right
today,
parts
so
are just a click
give me a
away.
call when you're
you
done
see
with
the
that.
green
We'll
check,
try
you
to
know
look
that
at
part
stuff
will
and
pay
figure it
out.
out.
Get the right parts at the right price. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions
here we go.
apply.
Okay.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better
when he
place in
promotes
the
the
valley to
number,
get in on the action.
just say we already got a guess.
Sportsbook at
I'm not gonna
CAZ
say the
Sports
number.
Bar.
Okay,
Now, guys, what's your top story?
Guys are hot.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Second hour as we take you all the way until 4 o'clock this afternoon, broadcasting live from the Barrio Queen here in the Tempe Marketplace. We want to remind you quickly, though, about what's coming up on Saturday and then Monday night. Of course, everybody knows it's the Final Four in Houston. However, if you're not in Houston and you want to party with us, we'd be more than happy to have you because we're doing a Big Four weekend at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona. Our special guest will be 12-year NBA veteran and ASU standout guard Fat Lever, plus three-time NBA champion and North Carolina Tar Heel Scott Williams. They will be with us on Saturday. There'll be a Q&A. You can take photos, get autographs, all of that good stuff. And we're going to have free props and squares. You're going to have a chance to win cash while the games are in progress as well. All starts at about 3 o'clock. For more details, just go to rockandmanuch.com. Once again, that is this Saturday and then Monday night, the CAZ Sports Bar and Sports Book at Casino, Arizona. All right, let's go. So we've got the situation here now with the Suns getting ready for the game tomorrow night against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They went into Utah last night. It was a business trip, and Manuch, they pretty much took care of business.
Well, they did, and again, you look at the bench, scoring 57 points, so you look at it, 53 points a couple nights ago on Saturday night and 57 points last night. You just hope the bench can hold up as they finish these last 7 games. And as you mentioned, Jimmy, tomorrow night, the Timberwolves, the Cat Man, going to be in town. Looks like he's
playing pretty well.
Pretty much healed up. Then you got Denver coming in town. Then you travel to OKC on Sunday. So they've got those 7 games coming up. Reportedly, KD looking to come back tomorrow night. I'm sure he's chomping at the bit, wants to get himself going and getting this team back. Not that they're out of sync, but I call it in sync with him back in the lineup. So I think from the scoring standpoint, that'll pick up. Won't have to rely so much on Craig and Okogie giving you points, because you look at it last night, it's interesting because Chris Paul only had 9 points, Okogie only had 9,
right,
and Craig only had 4. So you look at 13 with the 2, and you look at 22 with all 3. Very uncharacteristic of Chris Paul last night, but that bench picked up the slack where CP3 was a guy that wasn't quite hitting on all cylinders last night.
So let me drop this question on you two then.
Fair enough.
During this time with Kevin Durant being absent, who's been a guy that's been impressive that you think maybe deserves more minutes when he comes into the lineup? Who have you been most
I don't know if they have
with?
more minutes. I think that they can rest assured that when he plays, he'll be fine. I think that's Ross.
Yeah. I was just that's the guy I was going to say is Terrence Ross.
Terrence Ross. And I think, they play campaign no matter what, right, Jimmy?
Yep.
Them hell or high water.
Yep.
But I think they feel more confident these last 3 games he's played coming off the bench that he's back in sync, that he's got his rhythm, his tempo, his shot. Because, gosh, I remember last year at this time, he was iffy. He struggled during the playoffs, where 2 years ago he was on. So that was 21. Last year's 22. The odd year, right? 23. Here we go. He's on. But I think to answer your question, Jax, I think it's Ross. I feel as confident with campaign. Biyombo, Busy's showing more scoring, whether he's starting or coming off the bench, because I think it's a concerted effort with him that they get him a ball down low when he's playing in the lineup.
When DeAndre Ayton now is back and he played 30 minutes last night, they want to get him back into shape, into, I guess, basketball shape as quickly as possible. and that's why he got those extended minutes in the game. So he has all day today off, and then he'll be ready to go again tomorrow night with the T-Wolves in town, and they're going to need it because the T-Wolves, if you referenced, have Karl Anthony Towns, and they also have Rudy Gobert. So they start one guy who's like 7'1", the other guy is 6'11". So it's a big starting lineup. I'm going to be real curious to see how Monty Williams, the Suns coach, mix and matches in that game.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, Jimmy, and when you bring KD back. But the thing you also like about the bench, and we're talking about the confidence, and Jack's, I think what Monty's looking at is when you make your bench make 7 out of the 11 threes, you got to feel pretty good that you got a group of guys that can come in, hold the lead, go get the lead, and not give up any big baskets like they were. Now, the other thing we failed to mention, guys, was the defense at the end of the game last night. And I look at this Suns team, 49 rebounds to 47, pretty much, I thought at times, Jimmy, a bigger Utah team, blocked out, made some key defensive stops and made some key defensive rebounds in that game. And it was close there till the end. And the Suns pulled away. But Utah was in this game.
They were.
With about 5 minutes to go. Markkanen didn't have the greatest of nights.
No, he had a bad night.
He had a couple of guys that kept their shooting and kept that team in place before they made the run.
Walker Kessler, their rookie center, is going to be a sensational NBA player. He had 7 blocks in the game last night. He dominated the low block, and Ayton might have had more points than 14 if it wasn't for Walker Kessler.
And Ayton's getting a little enamored with that mid-range shot, Jimmy.
If it goes down, I'm okay with it. But if it's not going down, drop your behind down low on the block.
How about just lower the shoulder and do a couple of spin moves? No, I don't mind his spin moves around the rim, that little layup, little jump hook that he has.
Yeah.
But I would love to see him be a little more aggressive going to the hoop because, into the deeper the rounds of the playoffs you go, it becomes a low post game.
It does.
It becomes rebounding, going down low, establishing yourself.
Pace of the game slows down. Absolutely. And that is really important. And Ayton does have a good drop step that he can use when he's down there on the block in the paint. And I've seen him use it several times, but for some reason, I think he gets a little enamored, especially when that mid-range jumper is happening for him. All right, so that's what happened with the Suns. Okay, there's this little meeting going on right now out in Phoenix. It's called the NFL Owners Meeting, and some crazy things are coming out of there. And I'll get to the situation with the Cardinals in just a moment. But, Manuch, I'm sure you have seen this. There are now 2 official bids for the Washington Commanders, and both of them are for $6 billion. That is with a B, $billion.
And one of the groups is led by that guy you talked about a little earlier,
Magic Johnson.
Now, that's the same group that owns the Dodgers. Obviously, they've got a lot of money.
Yep.
And, you look at some of the updates coming out of the owners' meeting. The only thing I can see is that right there. Jonathan Gannon, the head coach of your Arizona Cardinals, talking about he'd love to have D-Hop. If D-Hop's around, he'll incorporate him where we know that he's being shopped. Mark LaFleur, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, he's getting peppered with questions about that one guy, Aaron Rodgers. What the hell's going on? Hey, fellas, how you doing? Quite frankly, I have no idea.
I got nothing.
I'm just out here.
I got nothing.
At the Biltmore off of 24th Street, just north of Camelback. I'm lounging out in the sun.
In the pool.
Getting a little pina colada without the umbrella, by the way. LaFleur's got to be beside himself. He talked to the press this afternoon to Gannon.
Well, not even LaFleur. How about Harbaugh and the Ravens right now? I think they've got to be the hot topic, and how Lamar Jackson and them just can't seem to get a deal done. This has been happening for over a year that they've been butting heads.
Wait a minute. They do have a deal if nobody offers up anything for Lamar.
Correct.
The deal is in place. The question will be, and Manuch has said this before, is that will he accept that deal or sit out a year?
Look at Jimmy getting technical. They do have a deal. It's for $32 million if he wants to move on.
That's about my salary here.
The thing that's going to be interesting is the draft is up, 4 weeks. Then if somebody wants to make a move to see what they're going to, if they give up the 2 first-rounders for him and they give him a new contract, whatever that is for 40 whatever, okay, that's fine. But the Ravens still hold the cards. they can match it. Now, if they get their 2 first-rounders and the incoming team says, we'll pay you $45 million a year, but guys, the key he wants the Deshaun Watson guaranteed contract for $225 million.
3 minutes.
Guys, my gut tells me I don't think that's going to happen out there.
I agree with you.
I think that they'll do the 2 picks and they'll give them guaranteed money, but I don't think they're going to guarantee
Not
the
like
contract.
that. No, I'm with you, Manuch.
Why do you think those owners over there at the Biltmore in Central Phoenix are so upset with Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, for giving that 1 in a million contract? It's not the guaranteed money; it's the guaranteed contract. That if he falls off and breaks his ankle and he can't play tomorrow, guess what? He's got all that money coming in for another 4 years or 3 years.
Yep.
Now it's all back end loaded, but he's guaranteed. So I don't know. There's a lot of moving pieces here, but I got a funny feeling that if these pieces don't fall together before the draft, you could see, what's they say in Texas, Lamar holding out.
I was going to say,
they may hold out. He may hold out.
You said right before the draft. It's funny because the NBA trade deadline, nothing happens until like the night before.
That is correct.
Yep. Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, DeAndre Hopkins. Could we see them? Nothing happen until the night before, maybe 2 hours before the draft, and it shifts everything.
Or it could be before that team picks the day up.
Yeah.
Because if it's rumored or reported to be Indianapolis or Houston, either one of them, right now, guys, they're going, okay, here's our dilemma. And if he's been allowed to go negotiate, right, on his own. So if he's talking to Houston and he's talking to Indianapolis, all right, guys, give me your best deal. Here's what I want. For him to put that to the folks in Indianapolis, to the folks in Houston, where can we meet? Not so much in the middle, because I know for a fact that Lamar Jackson wants that guaranteed contract.
Yep.
Now it might be for $215 million, not quite the $225, because I don't think anybody ever gets that.
No.
I mean, not this next couple years.
That was one in a lifetime.
I'm just throwing this out there, but do you think the Panthers are kind of scratching themselves saying, man, we traded up early before this Lamar stuff came out?
1 minute.
Or do you think maybe they say, hey, do we contemplate the number 1 pick, giving it up for a guy like Lamar instead of flipping the coin?
They have to give up
They can give up this one.
Yes.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
next, that's very attractive. That can be very attractive to the Ravens. The number 1 overall pick. You get that, and plus we'll give you another one, and we'll take Lamar Jackson as a proven quarterback, as a guy that's got the experience. And if we feel we have a team that's close to getting to the playoffs, he might be the missing link to get us there.
They're not close, though.
I know that.
In their division, they're
But Carolina,
you're
look
right.
at the side. Exactly right.
You're right about that.
It could be 1 or 2 guys, Jimmy, and it might be a quarterback away from at least winning the division this year in the NFC South.
Let me leave you with this little nugget as well on DeAndre Hopkins. He's scheduled to make almost $20 million this coming season. His cap hit is $30 million this season.
There's that deferred money.
There you go.
Going down the line.
That's it. Exactly what you were talking about. That's why he's so interested in getting out of here, because then he can rework his deal, go to a team most likely that he believes has a chance to make a run into the playoffs. Hey, it's our El Bandito Yankee Tequila Pick'em contest, where you get a chance to win a $25 gift card if you can beat the El Bandito Yankee Tequila and former Green Bay Packer Jim Bob Morris. We've got 4 picks. However, we have a gentleman here at the Bonnardio Queen who has signed up to take on Jim Bob Morris in the El Bandito Fan Pick'em contest. And it's all coming up next, right here. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
The Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em is back. Win 910 on 910 Bracket Challenge presented by Dos Equis. Win man cards after every round. Win the entire bracket and take home a $910 man card. Plus,
hey, let's grab that ad read. Next break, because I'm going to log in with the Jim Bob and stuff.
Me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the sports booth at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the sports book at CAZ Sports Bar.
It's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings, and we make it simple.
We sure do, no matter what the occasion. At Venezia's, we make catering easy. You can see our entire catering menu online at venezias.com, or let us know how we can help at one of our 6 locations, including the newest, now open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
Home shopping? You'll need a pre-approval letter. Call GC Global Capital, and you can get pre-approved in minutes. Call 480-397-9300. Free second opinions and comparisons. GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker. NMLS 1091187. License MB 0924983. An equal opportunity lender.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
In this week's Marketers Report, Patrizio Spagnoletto, Global Chief Marketing Officer, Direct-to-Consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on building trust.
Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the on-air talent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, conversations, trusted influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. Go to iHeartResults.com for more.
Progressive protects more than.
Hey, Jim Bob's not answering, guys.
When you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs.
He is not. I've now called him twice.
Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discounts. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts.
I'm trying them one more time, Manuch.
And make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me.
All right, guys, he's not answering. I'm just going to come back with regular bumper, regular dry liner, regular Barrio Queen liner.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine.
the Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
More sports, more Jody. The Drive with Jody Ayler. Now in mornings, 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 910. Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee
If we get him, I'll pot up the tequila music and everything, but for now, I'm just going to keep it normal.
One of the 7 Valley Barrio Queen locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910.
Guys are hot.
And the iHeart Radio app.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. It's party time in this particular segment because this is the segment where Manuch and I get to drink. Oh, maybe we're on the show until 4 o'clock, so we can't do that. But it is time for the El Bandito Yankee Tequila Pick'em contest, and it is poured from the Barrio Queen. That's right. Yeah, Manuch is ready. We are all ready. And normally we would have El Bandito Yankee Tequila owner Jim Bob Morris joining us for his selections, but he couldn't make it. So we brought in a substitute, and the substitute is James, whose last name just happens to be Morris as well. How are you, kid?
Oh, I'm just great. And, I'd like to say that I'm a lot better looking than the other person that you had on. So I think you got a better contestant today.
I just hope that you have your mother's athletic ability.
Absolutely. I pretty much got all of her good genetics, and he didn't have too many. So I mostly
Well, your dad was quite the player. So you've got purple pride in your blood. Your dad playing with the Kansas State Fighting Wildcats,
yeah.
then Green Bay Packers, and then USFL. So I guess you're kind of sort of the next best thing out here at the Barrio Queen. But man, you guys got it going on. Before we get to the contest here, we got Pete holding on out there in Tempe. Mm-hmm. You got Jimmy. He's got a popsicle in a margarita here. What is this all about here?
Explain this. Okay, go for it.
So this summer at all Barrio Queen locations, they'll be making margaritas in a martini glass.
Okay.
And they'll be freezing popsicles. And so you dunk the popsicle into the margarita.
Okay.
And it melts. And the whole flavor profile changes as you drink it. So this is one of the best.
And Jimmy, James Jr. had to test the product.
Well, he's testing right now for us.
He's testing that product. So I'm glad we got you on before you start testing a couple of other products.
It's good while you got me on the first one.
Well, awesome. you got Pete and Tempe to take on since you're stepping in for your pop. And
all right, let's get it, Pete.
Yeah, maybe you'll. As a matter of fact, I think last week our guest, I think your dad beat him.
Yeah,
I think he might have beat him
right.
by one.
Yeah,
but
that's surprising.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing Jim Bob's not here right now because he's getting busted on big time.
And he was maybe while he was sipping on that El Bandito Yankee tequila back in Florida.
Right.
He gets the nice assignment. Here you are in the Valley of the Sun with all the Barrio Queens that are going. All right, Jimmy, let's get this thing going.
All right, here we go. These games are on TNT tonight in the NBA. Miami Heat at the Raptors in Toronto. Toronto -4.5. Where are you headed with this game, James?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to go with the Raptors on this one. I love their young talent. Scotty Barnes. They got Siakam. They seem to be coming along. Nick Nurse is one of the best coaches in the game, so I'm going to roll with Toronto at home.
Okay.
Look at the wannabe Wildcat son here.
He's rolling.
Breaking it up. All right, what is Ben? What does Tim got? What did he have?
Peter.
I'm sorry.
Peter took Miami over the Toronto Raptors.
Okay. All right, second game, we got the Pelicans at Golden State. Golden State needs to win. They're favored by 8.5. That game will be at 7 o'clock on TNT. James Jr., who you got?
I like Golden State with the money line. I don't know about them covering 8.5. Brandon Ingram's playing pretty well for the Pelicans. Golden State dropped to Minnesota, I think, 2 nights ago. So Golden State with the win, but Pelicans to cover.
All right. Ben, what's Peter got?
Yeah.
Peter's got the Warriors in this game as well.
Okay. You ever think about doing sports talk radio?
Look at you breaking it down, man.
Hey, man,
you're on fire, brother.
I'm a Fox Sports fanatic. All right.
All right. I like this
morning
guy.
routine.
Good for you. And I know you listen to Roc and Manuch and Jimmy every day from 1 to 4.
Every day, 1 to 4. I don't have an aux cord, so I have to listen to radio.
Awesome. Tomorrow night, we've talked about this. The Suns will say hello to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Right now, there's no line on the game due to Kevin Durant. Will he or won't he? All indications are that he will be. So with no line, we'll just take a pick-up. Suns or T-Wolves?
You already know we're repping the Valley.
You're going strong
with Kevin Durant.
And nice to see this bench coming alive, huh?
Yes.
53 points a couple nights ago, 57 points. Let's just hope they can keep that going. Which way is Peter going? I hope he's going Suns' way there, Ben.
Well, Peter must be a good man because he's going with the Suns as well.
All right, there you go. And then last but not least, it is opening day, Major League Baseball. The D-backs will be taking on the Dodgers as they travel to Chavez Ravine. It'll be Zach Gallen versus LA's Juan Urias. Straight up pick on this one here. Thursday, 7-10. That'll be on Bally Sports. Looking forward to Zach Gallen having a very good year. They've got the first 8 out of 10 games, 8 of those with the Dodgers. The next 2 are with the Padres. So they're coming out strong in the Western Division. So who you got for that game? Opening game.
Absolutely, I'm going with the Diamondbacks. I can't even stand that Dodgers blue. I don't even want to look at it.
Wait a minute. So you're not betting with your heart. You're betting with your gut because you hate the Dodgers.
I hate the Dodgers.
Now,
hate them with the passion.
You grew up in Chicago. Are you a Cubs fan?
I'm a Cubbies fan.
You're a Cubby fan.
I have to be.
So misery loves company, right?
Apparently so.
Now that you're in the Valley, it sounds like pretty much full time. You got to become a D-backs fan.
Oh yeah, I mean part time.
Okay,
well, that's fair.
3 minutes.
That's fair.
All right, opening game. What's Peter got?
Peter's not going to pick with his heart. He's going to pick with his brain here, and he's going to take the LA Dodgers to beat the Diamondbacks.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
James has just dropped this knowledge on us, as Jimmy would like to say. You'd like to give a pair of tickets away for tomorrow night's Suns. KD hopefully will be there.
Yep.
T-Wolves game. So what caller just calls in, and we'll get the tickets for the Suns game.
Give us the rundown.
You can go 1 through 99 if you want to, because Ben's back there.
All right.
He's just hanging out.
I'm going to pick a lucky number. Think of a Suns player.
Okay.
That's who's winning.
All right.
We got 2 tickets to go see Kevin Durant and Devin Booker whoop up on the Timberwolves tomorrow
2 minutes.
night at 7:10.
Okay.
What number?
What number?
Oh, you want me to pick?
Yeah, caller. Caller number.
Make Ben work a little bit.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with Kobe Bryant's number 24.
24. Oh, I love it.
Busy.
Ben's gonna, all right.
Here's the phone number.
Give it to him there.
602-260-9191. That's 602-260-9191. Caller 24 gets 2 tickets to the game tomorrow night and the return of Kevin Durant. Oh, Ben's going to hate you.
Sorry. And as we wrap it up here, James, it is El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday and Taco Tuesday. All the other good stuff they got going on out here. Give us a little breakdown.
Absolutely. You know, we got the best tequila in the Valley, and you pair it with one of the best taco places in the Valley at Barrio Queen. Get you a nice reposado on the rocks or a margarita with a popsicle.
Reposado.
Absolutely, and enjoy your night. It's the best. It's all you can ask for.
I'm looking forward to everything because I love coming here to do this show on Taco Tuesday and Tequila Tuesday. It's great having you.
Good combination.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You already
so
know.
You should just hang out with us, kick the old man to the curb.
You know what? He's calling me right now.
Is he?
That's so funny. Should I answer it?
Tell him we have a replacement.
Yeah.
Wait, so tell him you have just replaced him.
Yeah.
Because you knocked it out the park.
Hey,
just let him know that.
You know what?
And that you're on time. And most Wildcats, Jax, what do you think? 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups for him tonight for showing up late?
Oh, yeah. You know, I think this Roc and Manuch, they've had the old bull, all right, and that got boring. So now they want the young stud.
They want the young bull.
Here they go. Here they go. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Great stuff, and thanks for giving away the tickets as well. All right, everybody. Quick timeout. When we come back, this is Manuch's going to be favorite segment because his boy, Stan Weber, longtime football and basketball analyst for Kansas State, the Wildcats. He's going to be our guest. It's coming up next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox.
Behold. Here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
The Diamondbacks are taking on the Guardians in the final game of spring training. Ryan Nelson got the starting nine. He allowed a run in 5 2/3. The Athletic reporting Kevin Durant is expected to make his son's home debut for tomorrow's game with the Timberwolves. Cardinals coach Jonathan Gannon said he's continuing to operate as if DeAndre Hopkins will remain with the team despite being the subject of those trade rumors. Gannon also confirmed the team's recent operational changes that included facility upgrades. The Coyotes now on a 5-game losing streak after falling to the Oilers. They don't return to action until Friday when they host the Stars. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Whether it's beer and wings with the guys or a steak or ribs with that special someone, Tavern Grill Scottsdale is a casual sports bar and grill with something for everyone. Visit us today at 8880 East Via Linda, Tavern Grill in Scottsdale.
The people of Arizona have voted, and the results are official. Lerner & Rowe has won again, being voted best personal injury law firm 8 years in a row. We'd like to thank everyone who voted, making Lerner & Rowe the people's choice for personal injury. What makes us so popular? We've helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. We're recovering more money for more people than any other law firm in Arizona. Call us today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Win cash by watching the NCAA championship game at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Play their free props and scores contests.
That's Championship Monday with the guys at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's turbo high-output engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, this is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
If you own a small business, you've probably been hearing a lot about the ERC, how it's worth up to $26,000 per employee, how easy it is. You know the spiel. So why am I still talking to you about it now? Because many of you still haven't filed a claim. But Innovation Refunds can help you close the book on this thing. They're backed by one of those big CPA firms the corporations use so they can determine once and for all if your business qualifies. And it's free to find out. Go to innovationrefunds.com. That's innovationrefunds.com.
Intelligence runs in the family. Innovation runs in the family. Extraordinary runs in the family. The Mercedes-Benz range of SUVs. Every member is waiting to impress. Learn more at mbusa.com.
Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio Queen locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports
Guys are hot.
10 and the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back, everybody. We continue all the way to 4 o'clock. That was a lot of fun. We had the kid show up the old man, and he did a great job. And we given away the tickets. Ben, nice job fast-fingering that phone since it was caller number 24. We appreciate
Yeah, could you please stop having people call in? Because my phone line is blowing up. I've already given out the tickets.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
That's it. You got it. Great job, though, Ben. Right now, however, we're going to switch gears. In fact, I'm just going to be quiet because Manuch's favorite school,
guys, I just dropped him. Give me a second.
Kansas State, the Wildcats. And we're going to have a conversation here in just a little bit with Stan Weber, Manucci's longtime football and basketball commentator.
Yeah, yes, he was a quarterback there at K-State several years ago, I think in the mid-'80s. And Stan's been calling football and basketball for the K-State Wildcats for
people are crashing the lines.
30, 36, something like that in reference to that. So we'll catch up with Stan here and get his thoughts on front and center, FAU, Florida Atlantic. And you look at what they've done. And the Cats basically, here's a scenario that you take a good look at.
Okay.
Cats are in that game. They had one last shot to win it. But you looked at the tenaciousness and you looked at this FAU team, a smaller team, not a real big team, that were crashing the boards, 14 offensive rebounds.
They play hard.
They out-rebounded the Cats by 22.
Yeah.
So think of all the second chance points that they were getting.
They had. Yep.
And if there's one thing that I watch that FAU team is just the tenaciousness, the energy, on top of the shooting, and they make their free throws when they have to. And I think those are some of the things that I look at, and I understand that you're going to have when you get into the Final Four.
We want to remind everybody, if you're listening to the show, please don't call Ben anymore.
We got our winner.
The winner has already been notified.
All right, he's finally here.
And so just please give Ben a rest, all right? We'll do it again from time to time. Just be sure you're listening to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, which brings us then to Stan Weber. Stan, it's Jimmy B and Manuch. Good afternoon to you, my friend, and welcome to the show. Manuch is so excited, I'm not even going to ask the first question. I'm going to let him do it.
You know, Stan, it's we were trying to figure, it's been 50, 60 years you've been broadcasting basketball, football, all the, but how many years you've been doing the combo over there at K-State?
I did not get a chance to broadcast Dan Manucci's game. Not true. One is older than me. Thank you for calling. I've done 36 years. Just finished my 36th year doing K-State games. So it's been a lot of fun. A great ride. And when Bill Snyder came through with football, everyone thinks that K-State's been great at football forever. So if you ever meet Dan Manucci and say he's an ex-K-State starting quarterback along with what I can say to people, they go, wow, you're like Michael Bishop or Colin Klein or Will Howard is like, that's fine.
Yeah,
but
fair
we didn't
enough.
win as many games back then.
Yeah. You talked about Bill Snyder and the Reclamation Project that was Kansas State University. And for us alum to have Bill come in, the godsend he was. And here comes Jerome Tang from Baylor, many, many years as an assistant at Baylor, comes into K-State, get a couple guys from transfer portal, culture change, guys stay around, they believe in him. What was the major difference with him being the head coach to flip this script after so many years with Coach Weber being there?
Well, Coach Weber won a Big 12 championship in 2019, so he did some very fine things. But COVID just threw the world upside down, and it just didn't come out of that spin. He recruited some good players. Think about Nigel Pack getting ready for the Final Four at Miami. He was a starter for K-State last year before he got that big contract that's allowed now by the NIL to go to Miami at Florida. And then you saw what Marquise Noel did. He was also recruited by Bruce Weber. But when this team was put together by Jerome Tang, he came in with just an unbelievable optimism and knowledge of what it takes. Baylor won a national championship just a couple of years ago. He started from scratch with Scott Drew when Baylor's program was a complete mess, not even just on a basketball court, in every way possible. They were not even allowed to play a full season in one of his first years because bad stuff happening at Baylor. So he stayed with Scott Drew for 19 years. He had a plan. Now remember this, Baylor is in the Big 12, so he knew about every team in the Big 12. He knew about recruiting this area, what it was like to go up against the rival KU. K-State KU is a big deal around here. He had all of that knowledge. He had an optimism and a great basketball knowledge. And he put it all together, and he just came in and said, why can't we win? I think we can go to the NCAA tournament. And everyone else would say, are you even going to get a full roster? But at the last moment, right before school started, Keontae Johnson was allowed to enter basketball again after that unfortunate event at Florida a couple years ago. And he became a superstar player. Marquise Noel developed even further to a point guard that lit up the NCAA tournament from Harlem, New York. And I'm telling you, we were in New York for our regionals, right?
Yeah.
And it was just unbelievable what he did. K-State's got an unbelievable basketball history. And Marquise Noel in the last game when K-State went down, when you saw that against FAU, he scored 30 points and had more than 10 assists. That's only happened 2 times in K-State basketball history. He did it earlier this year in a game, and he did it to finish his career. So just an incredible story. I got to love what Jerome Tang brings. He really is trying to bring this team and galvanize them and say, you are boys growing up and becoming men, but I want you to be great fathers, great husbands, and great contributors to society. And, oh, by the way, that'll help us play basketball together if we really have love and those kind of words. And they really just played it out all year long, and it worked.
Stan Weber joining us here on the right. So to guest former Kansas State quarterback, been broadcasting for over 36 years as the color analyst for the football and basketball team. So, Stan, we take a look back at the game this past weekend against Florida Atlantic. At least the Cats had one final shot, but you're there front and center watching FAU as they get ready to take on San Diego State here on the early game on Saturday. When you watch them, what are some of the phrases or accolades that you can give about that team to come back, going back and forth to finally win that game against the Cats?
Well, first thing, and I said it before the game, and I'll say it to anybody who hasn't studied FAU intently, everyone's going to talk about how they have interchangeable guards. Like different people can bring the ball up the court. They can push the ball. They have great three-point shooting ability. They've had 18 games where they scored 10 three-point shots in a game or more. They made 9 against K-State in the game that they won the other day. They are very good at shooting the outside shot. And so suddenly you want to think they're the little team that could. You know, if they bomb from the outside, they could win. But here's the big thing to keep in mind, guys, when you watch this game. They have an inside presence. They have a big-time inside presence. Vlad Golden is 7'1", young man from Russia, put up 14 points and 13 rebounds against K-State. He might have been the difference in the ball game. But when I watched him, even against Tennessee and the big guys that they have on their team, he fought and worked and played so hard and so well. And then when he needs a rest, Giancarlo Rosado comes in and they change their offense completely. He is a big offensive weapon who comes to the high post, to the top of the key, and like a Princeton offense, they start cutting off of him, and he can go score the basketball. So their bigs is the understated story. They have one on the court at a time, but they actually make you play against 2 different styles, and they're both very effective. And the other guy, Dan, you'll really appreciate this. Elijah Martin, number 15, when you get a chance to study him, he could play football for anybody. He is built like the perfect athlete. 6'2", 210, great basketball player, hit a critical three-pointer against K-State. He's made more threes than anybody else on FAU, but he's average. Get this. He's average this year, getting 2 offensive rebounds a game on his team's missed free throws. Now, you shouldn't be able to get 1 in every 5.
Sure, yeah.
That's what he did against K-State. He got 2 in the second half. One of them was critical, and they got a three-pointer off it. K-State knew that was his specialty, and he still was able to get it done. So they got a good team. Brian Greenlee is a good shooter, a good player. They also, one other thing I'll say, is they play 9 guys, and all 9 guys are like starters.
Wow.
They wear you out by being indifferent about which of the 9 guys are on the court. I got to meet Dusty May and his family. It's important to know Dusty May is a real good guy, hugs up all the players and all the things you need to do nowadays, Dan. But remember when Bobby Knight used to kick some ass?
Yeah.
Well, he went to Indiana, and he was a manager on Bobby Knight's team. So you mix the old school mentality deep down in his bones with the modern presentation, and you got a pretty darn good coach in Dusty May.
Stan, I want to follow up then because you've seen the teams that are now in the Final Four, and I love the way you just talked about FAU, but is UConn the class, or is there somebody else that you believe, maybe it's FAU, that could pull the upset and win it all other than UConn?
Well, right now, whatever I say,
3 minutes.
I'll just do the opposite because that's been the correct thing. In this
True.
game.
You're right.
So,
Yeah.
I want to be very, very, very careful about this. Now, UConn's looked great, haven't they?
Yes.
And so they look like the best, most complete team going into the Final Four. But I have watched Miami a little closer probably than I would have normally, and I know what Nigel Pack can do. And I know a lot about Texas, and Texas had them by the neck. I mean, when there were 8 minutes left in the game, it looked like Texas had a free run. They were playing in Kansas City. I office in downtown Kansas City. I'm like 4 blocks from the T-Mobile Center, and Texas won a championship there by beating Kansas just a couple weeks earlier in the Big 12. They look like they own this place. And then on a dime, Miami just said, we're going to go beat you. And they did it without shooting the 3-ball, which is what they're known for. So I think the variability and the way Miami can attack makes them dangerous. I would make them the second favorite. They play UConn right off the bat. So either San Diego State or FAU are going to be in the national championship game. I respect San Diego State, how they fight and they're tough and all those things. So I have to say it's wide open this year. But if you made me put them in order, I'd say UConn most likely to win and Miami second.
Stan, always appreciate it. I'll leave you with this. I thought what a class act that Jerome Tang was to go into that FAU locker room after the game and congratulate those kids and tell those kids, stick with it. You got a great chance. And not many coaches who have just lost a heartbreaker, if you will go in that opposing locker room. But very proud of what he's done. And I just love his realistic expectations for his young men, family, school, and then basketball, and just the way that he's handled these young men. So I think that we're in good hands as a Wildcat alumnus with Jerome Tang as a head basketball coach.
Yeah, total class. Faith is also something he'd want to be mentioned in that list, but total class in everything he does. It's been a joy to be around Jerome Tang. I got to say one thing before I go, Dan. There's a show, the most popular station in Kansas City, a sports station. They have an intro for me on one of the shows, and it says, we'll throw a spiral when called upon, like an old guy statement. And I just think, that's just so inappropriate compared to the spiral youth vote. So I want everybody to know Dan Manucci can fire that ball. He always could. I was scrappy. I led the team in rushing. I took the hits, man. Dan Manucci, he can throw a tight spiral when called upon.
Well, I appreciate that. It's always great to talk to you. I will put that check in the mail for you via the Kansas City way. But always a pleasure, man. EMAW, and I look forward to talking to you as soon as football season is right around the corner. Matter of fact, the big excuse will be to call you before that spring purple-white scrimmage. That's right around the corner as well.
Big 12 champions in football, man. Go Cats.
That's awesome. Thank you, Stan. You have a great day. Enjoyed it tremendously. That is Stan Weber. You got it, pal. That's Stan Weber, everybody, the basketball and football color analyst for how long? 36 years?
36 years, man.
Wow. At K-State.
Was a very good quarterback and did a fine job. He was there during the Stan Parrish era, and God rest his soul. We were really down. That organization
after you were there.
Well, no, we were up. What we talking about? We ended up 4-7 my senior year.
Yeah.
You thought we reinvented sliced bread for crying out loud. You guys won 4 games because we only won 1 the year before.
All right, you're a great sport, Manuch. You really are. A quick break. When we come back, it's our random fact of the day. It's presented, of course, by your Valley Chevy dealers. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
This is the Herd.
Hey, Jimmy, let's redo that thing.
Cowherd.
He's
for more people than any other law firm in Arizona. Call us today.
Lerner and Roc is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our mom.
Heck no, I got Mama Garcia's quesadillas at home.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to
Mama
build
Garcia is
on
also
roots
white. She's a
and
terrible
We
grow.
cook.
had a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias.
No, wifey Garcia,
Indeed can
she's
help
got
her
it.
hire
She's
great
got it
people
popping.
fast.
She knows how to cook.
Wake up with The Drive. Jody Ayler tomorrow morning, 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 9.
I thought I lost him again on that last one.
iHeartRadio app. Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio Queen locations. Now back to the guys.
Guys are hot.
Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
That's right. Barrio Queen, we are here at the Tempe Marketplace. We're here until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now it is time, however, for the random fact of the day. It is presented, of course, by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Well, that new study out, a new poll talks about the most and least stressed out states. Very interesting here. A new study ranked every state from the most stressed out to the least. The most stressed are Mississippi and Louisiana. And the least stressed are Minnesota and Utah. So this whole thing came about is that everyone deals with some stress periodically here and there. We deal with you every day, Jimmy.
I have to deal with you.
Stress is very, very light. They basically got serious stuff, some dumb stuff, like trying to avoid bumping into that neighbor while checking the mail. Yeah, everybody's got that neighbor. They got that Mrs. Kravitz, you know.
Yeah.
She gets at the mailbox, wants to pin you down, what's going on here, what's going on there. Well, Wallet Hub just put out a new study that ranked every state from the most stressed out to the least. Now, the rankings are based on 41 different factors across 4 different stresses. Interesting.
You said 41?
41
Wow.
different, 4 different stresses.
Okay.
Work-related, money-related, family, and health and safety. Now, based on that, the most stressed out states, mostly in the South, Mississippi, Louisiana, New Mexico, West Virginia, Nevada, Arkansas, Alabama, Kentucky, Texas, and Oklahoma. Interesting. Those states all got pretty good football programs aside from New Mexico. And the least stressed out are Minnesota, Utah, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Massachusetts, Iowa, New Jersey, Connecticut, North Dakota, and Virginia. I didn't see Montana in there whatsoever.
They should have been. They should be.
There's no stress up there.
I mean, what do most of those states, not all, not New Jersey, but most of those states, what do they all have in common? Or Massachusetts, what do they all have?
Pretty cold weather.
Well, that
snow.
No, light population. They don't have. I mean, in Minnesota, you have the Minneapolis-DePaul area, and then you got nothing.
So I got a whole lot of nothing up there. That's why I thought that the Montana's up there, maybe Billings, or
I thought they might be
some of those
there.
go up there.
Yeah.
This is one of those things that you just go, really? People actually do this? Yeah. Someone invented a shoe that you can wear backwards.
What?
Yeah. A fashion brand in New York invented a new type of shoe that you can also wear backwards. If you saw someone walk down the street in these, you'd think it was a glitch in the Matrix. If you wear them like normal, they're an open-toed sneaker. That alone is pretty weird in itself. Now, if you wear them the other way, they're like a sandal. But it looks as if you've got your shoes on backwards. Yeah, that's interesting. They're called the BWD shoe, short for backward, we assume. It's from the brand MSCHF, pronounced mischief.
Okay.
There's some companies selling the big red boots that make it look like a cartoon character, but they specialize basically in weird stuff. Now, the new backward brand shoes go for $135, and it's going to hit the website on April 11th. So that's basically coming from the Hollywood Reporter. I had no idea that they've got sneaker news. Yeah, we're looking at it right now.
A photo of it, yeah.
It's kind of like a tennis shoe with a heel, and then the backside's an open side.
Yeah.
So when you look at the tennis shoe side, you got a heel on it. when you flip the shoe around, it's like sliding your foot in a sandal.
Sure.
It is the funkiest, ugliest looking thing, but leave it up to the folks in New York City to come up with that. Again, that is some of the random facts today. The random facts today driven by your Valley Chevy dealers. Valley Chevy dealers serving the Valley for over 80 years. Find all the new and certified pre-owned vehicles today at valleychevy.com. Valleychevy.com. Would you, if somebody offered that, they paid you $50 a week for branding to wear that shoe every day,
$50.
I'll give $100.
$100 a week.
Yeah,
that's only $400 a month.
3 minutes.
Yeah. Would you wear that bad boy?
No.
And if it takes off in your city, you're going to get credit and get a percentage.
Pay me
of the
$100 a
sale.
day. I will.
I would. 100 a week?
100
though?
a
You just have to
day.
wear shoes. I would totally do it.
Because here's the thing.
No, you have to wear it every day.
But Jimmy,
yes,
you didn't hear what you finished there. And if people see it and they buy it because of your marketing and branding it, and you get a percentage of that, all of a sudden it might come $5,000 a month for you getting that $100 a week. Therein lies the business side of what that is. So those are our Valley Chevy dealers' random facts of the day.
Still not wearing it. It's ugly.
It is really funky.
It is ugly. The colors are kind of whack.
It's kind of like, okay, let's take a look. Where's that product going to be a year from now? So who's the test product for that?
Yeah, really.
Is it the millenniums, the older group?
That would be
the
the
younger
millennials.
kids.
It's got to be like the girls and guys on TikTok, like those kind of people.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Possibly.
You don't know what TikTok is, Jimmy. You're a little too old for it, but it's an app.
I
It's
beg
another
your
social
pardon.
media app, Jimmy. That
I'm an influencer on TikTok.
It'd be very interesting to see who got a hold of that, but it's always the year later that we look this thing up. We do an on this day next year at this particular time where that thing ends up.
Hey, the Valley Chevy dealers are very proud of the Chevy Silverado. It is the #1 best-selling retail full-size light-duty pickup. Now, when you're shopping for a new or certified used vehicle, you need to visit your Valley Chevy dealers today. There are 13 dealers in the Valley offering the best deals and offers on trucks as well as crossovers, SUVs, and cars. So, look at that Silverado, the #1 best-selling retail, full-size, light-duty pickup truck. You owe it to yourself to check it out, especially during truck season. And it's going on right now at your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today or visit valleychevy.com. Manuch, this evening, tomorrow evening, we have an NBA basketball game featuring the Suns against the Minnesota Timberwolves and the likely appearance again of one Kevin Durant.
Yeah, and that's going to be pretty exciting as the phone line just blew off the hook as El Bandito Yankee Tequila was giving away their tickets for tomorrow night. We got a winner, folks. So we got a winner.
Yeah, give Ben a rest.
And those tickets are going out there. But
30.
You can imagine the phone line's blowing up knowing that KD is making the comeback. And against the Timberwolves, it'll be a good competition for KD to get back in the swing of things.
We're looking forward to that. Coming up in our third and final hour, former Cardinals defensive lineman, Kyle Vanden Bosch. Also, Arizona Republic, Bob McManaman will be our guest
10.
at 3:30. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports.
Are you looking to get in the best shape of your life and offer your son or daughter the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Manucci here for the new Coco 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park, located in Southeast Mesa, the premier training facility in the Southwest. The state-of-the-art facility is 25,000 square feet, which combines junior high, high school, and college teams, as well as individual athletes of all ages. And it's the new home for my quarterback training. They have the best team of coaches led by Olympic gold medal winner Dan O'Brien. If your son or daughter wants to get bigger, stronger, and faster, then you need to call Coco 5 Performance Center now. Sign up by calling at 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will get you the type of training specific to your sport. That's 480-572-0647, or go online to legacyperformanceaz.com. And for a limited time, mention me, Dan Manucci, and they will give you your first session free on me. Again, that's 480-572-0647, or go to legacyperformanceaz.com.
On the free iHeartRadio app, you never pay to hear what you love, and you never wait to hear what you want. Save your money, save your time, and listen anywhere. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio. The check is good, the experience is smooth, and the reviews online are wonderful at GiveMeTheVIN.com. They don't call us America's best car buyer for nothing.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Dazzling decal on Daisy's Donuts window. Bold banner at Barry's Barbershop. Prominent poster at Penny's on Park Place.
This is your sign. Well, signs. To try Staples and see the difference. Get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more.
From Staples, and I couldn't miss it.
Ends 4/15. Visit staplesconnect.com/printbig for details.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver," unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the Superbook.com studio. Superbook Sports, now live. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station. Available everywhere on our free iHeart radio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910.
Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon said he's continuing to operate as if DeAndre Hopkins will remain with the team despite being the subject of trade rumors. Gannon also confirmed the team's recent operational changes that included facility upgrades. The Diamondbacks playing the Guardians in their final game of the spring. Ryan Nelson got the start. Per The Athletic, Kevin Durant is expected to make his son's home debut for tomorrow's game versus the Timberwolves. And the Coyotes fell to the Oilers for their 5th consecutive loss. They don't return to action until Friday when they play host to the Dallas Stars. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
I look for mostly clear skies with those temperatures dipping down into those 50s. And then for your Wednesday, mostly sunny skies and temperatures topping out at around 81 degrees. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's.
At Wendy's, every square hamburger is a sign it's gonna taste good. You don't need a psychic to tell you that.
Excuse me?
Choose Wendy's Dave Single today. Only $1 with the offer in the app.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's. Offering Wendy's app account registration and mobile purchase required. Not valid in combo or with other offer.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now,
guys are hot.
What's your top story this hour?
3 minutes. Two minutes. One minute.
The Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em is back. Win 910 on 910 Bracket Challenge presented by Dos Equis. Win man cards after every round. Win the entire bracket and take home a $910 man card. Plus your height in Dos Equis. Head to fanpick'em.com.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
A wreck downtown Phoenix, eastbound 10 near 7th Street. Now that's sitting off right, but traffic remains very slow back to 19th Avenue. More slowing heading west I-10 downtown from the mini stack over to 7th Avenue. There's a wreck on Thomas and 22nd Street. Entry wreck 83rd Avenue just south of Thunderbird, and a crash on Grand Avenue and 75th Ave. I'm Lee Powell, checking the roads.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's.
At Wendy's, every square hamburger is a sign it's gonna taste good. You don't need a psychic to tell you that.
Excuse me?
Choose Wendy's Dave Single today. Only $1 with the offer in the app.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's. Offering Wendy's app account registration and mobile purchase required. Not valid in combo or with other offers.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Hashtag sexy roof status. At State 48 Roofing, we are family owned and operated, born and raised in Arizona. We'd love to give back to our schools and community. Contact us at state48roofing.com.
Gotta love March, and the best place to watch all the action is at one of the 4 Valley Twin Peaks locations. And it's never too late to get some basketball picks in, as Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B give you multiple chances to win Twin Peaks man cards with a contest after every round. Just sign up at fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com. And make plans to join the guys throughout the tournament at different Twin Peaks locations to win even more prizes. It's March with Twin Peaks and Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Details at rockandmanuch.com.
Join the Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B for their Big 4 weekend at the CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona.
Arizona. ASU all-time great fat lever and 3-time NBA champion Scotty Williams join the guys on Saturday. Plus win cash with their free props and squares contests. That's the Big 4 weekend at Casino Arizona.
Golfers, you won't want to miss the Vans Golf Shop's Wilson Golf Fitting event happening this week. This big event is your chance to check out the new Wilson Dynapower woods and irons. Come meet with the Wilson Golf team and get custom fit for the new Dynapower woods and irons. Schedule your custom fitting appointment online at Vans Golf Shops today. Don't miss it. It's happening this week. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is Super Bowl champion Alfred Williams. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Kevin Durant is expected to make his son's home debut for Wednesday's game versus the Timberwolves. As per The Athletic, he's missed the last 10 with a sprained ankle. Cardinals coach Jonathan Gannon said he's continuing to operate as if DeAndre Hopkins will remain with the team despite being the subject of trade rumors. Among the proposals voted in by NFL owners at today's meetings, players can now wear the number 0 except for offensive and defensive linemen. I'm Frank Arity.
Style runs in the family. Athleticism runs in the family. Extraordinary runs in the family. The Mercedes-Benz range of SUVs. Learn more at MBUSA.com or test drive one at your local dealer.
Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio Queen locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeart Radio app.
That's right, everybody. We are broadcasting today in the Tempe Marketplace at the Barrio Queen. I'm getting better, Manuch. I keep practicing. It just kind of rolls out right now, Manuch being my Spanish instructor. Right now, we're going to talk a lot of NFL football, and why not? Because Kyle Vanden Bosch, former Cardinals, Titans, and Lions defensive end, is our guest. He generally joins us on a Tuesday, and today is no exception. Kyle, it's Jimmy B and Manuch. Thank you, pal, as always. So all of a sudden, we hear rumors and reports that, okay, wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins can negotiate and talk to other teams. And then the coach Gannon comes out and he says, well, I don't know anything about that. I expect to see him in a couple of weeks here when we have a little practice session. Who's telling the truth here? Can you decipher this for us?
Well, first of all, pre-draft, anybody from coaches to front office, if they're talking, they're probably lying.
I love it.
It's just part of the deal, man. You gotta try to figure out, decipher what they're saying or why they're saying it. And to Coach Gannon's credit, starting with this introductory press conference, he made it very clear that whoever's wearing the Cardinals uniform in the fall, he's going to coach them and do his best or have his staff do their best to help them reach their potential. But you don't ever, it's about creating leverage right now. If you're a motivated seller, obviously the value of either the product or the player that you're trying to deal in this case goes down. To me, it's a negotiating tactic. Obviously, no deal is imminent. I do believe that they've given DeAndre Hopkins and his camp permission to talk to other teams, because to me that would be one of the hangups at this point. I think a trade and fair compensation or whatever is deemed as fair compensation at this point, is not the hang up. It would be the fact that DeAndre Hopkins has 2 years left on his deal, but no guaranteed money. So whether the trade happens or whether DeAndre Hopkins remains an Arizona Cardinal, he's going to want a new deal before he gets on the field next season.
And I think what you said there, Kyle, is everybody's talking code this time of year and trying to figure out what they're doing, what they're not doing. But I think that what you just said there at the end, the restructuring of the contract, if he does stay, because he wants that new deal. He wants to go get paid. Cardinals reportedly seeking a second-round pick for him as of now. Market's been set with Brandon Cooks getting they give up a fifth-rounder to get him, that being the Dallas Cowboys. That's a large gap, third, fourth-rounder, if they're seeking to get something very comparable on that.
Yeah, but let's be clear. Brandon Cooks is not DeAndre Hopkins.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins, say what you want about him. I think a lot of Arizona Cardinals fans soured on him last year with the suspension and him still fighting through injury, I guess, at the end of last season, at times looking a little bit disgruntled on the field. You can say what you want about him. In my opinion, and just from my eyes, he's still a top 5 impact type wide receiver. And, when I talk about teams and coaches and front offices posturing at this point, there's so many reasons you can do it to increase the value of the asset you're trying to get or try to increase what you can get in return for them. Also, when I was with the Detroit Lions, we drafted Ndamukong Suh, and he was dominant his rookie year. And what it did is it made our divisional opponents for the next 2 or 3 years draft guards earlier than they typically would. I mean, they're drafting first and second round guard. So, it's your first step as a team, period. But as a new coach and as a new GM is to try to win your division. That's goal number one. And, there's always these games being played between you and your divisional rivals. And, they at this point have to prepare for an Arizona Cardinals team with DeAndre Hopkins on the field next year. Mm-hmm. And so the longer you can, kind of lead them along and, make sure that they are worried about that in the very least. I think it helps to a degree.
Kyle Vandenbosch joining us, former Arizona Cardinal, Titan, and Detroit Lion. Here on the right Toyota guest line, Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B out here at Barrio Queen in Tempe. Looking at how things are playing out in the free agents the Cardinals are signing, or lack thereof, a lot of backup guys with some experience. You got to like that. They kind of plug and play to an effect. And then you got the draft right around the corner, Kyle. It's just right there.
Yeah.
That number 3 pick's got Will Anderson written all over it. And the way that they're setting themselves up by by getting these free agents, seems as though they may not mess around, go right after him in that 3rd pick.
Yeah, no, it's starting to look like that. And, the only other scenario I see is the Colts trading up and getting at least another 2nd or 3rd round pick, moving up one spot to make sure they get a quarterback. The more I think about it, what they need, obviously they need bodies. At this point, they couldn't field the team. They couldn't even get through, a mini camp. With Colt McCoy hurt, you've got one arm and David Blau to be able to throw a ball. So, they need bodies, they need positions, they need quality players. But, looking at what Will Anderson can do and how he can impact the game, what we have right now in our defensive front, you've got a group of defensive tackles that have over their careers combined 6.5 sacks.
Wow.
Got 2 rookies last year as edge rushers, Cam Thomas and Myjai Sanders, that had 3 sacks apiece last year. And at this point, they appear to be the only ones that might be able to get pressure on the quarterback next year. There's been some talk about possibly trading down, getting more picks and still being able to get the best corner available, assuming you can still stay inside the top 10. But a corner does you no good if you can't get pressure on a quarterback. You can make up for a lot of problems in coverage on the back end if you have a consistent, disruptive edge or inside rusher that can get pressure on the quarterback, speed up his clock, mess up his timing. So, you've got to at least get, Will Anderson or somebody that can get in the backfield and get pressure on the quarterback. And to me, it's not just his production, his stats, the things he did in college. I love his effort. I love the fact that he never quits on a play. I love his backside pursuit. And when all else fails, when he's overmatched against a veteran offensive tackle that he can't beat, he can't get pressure on a quarterback, at least he's still affecting the game with the way he plays and his effort and just his relentless attitude.
I want to ask you, and I promise I won't ask you this question again until training camp starts, because I've asked it before, but I'm going to ask it in a different frame this time. And Kyle, that is this team, the way that their roster so far is constructed, are they the bottom feeder in your estimation right now in the NFC West?
Right now, yes. You look at what we did in free agency, and I like some of the players we signed. Going back to, again, one of the first things Jonathan Gannon said is he wants to help players reach their ceiling. There's a number of players that have a higher ceiling than what they've shown this far. And, one player that I think about is Zach Pascal. Now, nobody's going to be real excited about that signing, but he plays hard. He had, pretty good production for a couple years in a row, but was on a roster with just such talented wide receivers and offensive weapons. He just, was an afterthought. So players like that could, really step up. My concern is, there was a huge amount of turnover. Let's set aside the front office and coaching staff, just the roster. And this team's going to look completely different than it did last year. And the free agents we signed, 9 of them are on 1-year contracts, and the other 7 are on 2-year contracts. So there's going to be more turnover next year at some point, and hopefully we hit some home runs with this draft. You've got to have guys on 4-year, 5-year contracts that become your cornerstone guys that you can build around. Guys like Buda Baker, guys that they're going to be there. They can help establish the culture and they can lead your team. It's difficult, when you're basically rented talent for a season, you step in and lead the team. And to have, skin in the game when you realize you're probably not going to be there the next year. You're just trying to play selfishly, trying to build your own numbers to increase your own value. So the next time you hit free agency next offseason, you might get that longer term deal. So, I just don't see a lot other than maybe a handful of guys that will be a part of the Cardinals in, 4 years. And that's what we need to find. The guys that align with Jonathan Gannon's vision, that with Monty Ossenfort's vision of building a roster, and can provide some continuity from year to year, because the way free agency has gone, we're going to have a ton of guys up that are going to be free agents again next year. And there's going to be a huge turnover in the roster again for the second consecutive year.
Boy, Kyle, you nailed it right there, because you got to be careful that those guys, you like you said, they keep around when they see what's going on with the new regime rebuilding, and they're coming toward the end of their contract and they're playing at the top of their game. They're going, well, I don't want to stick around and be part of this rebuilding. I want a shot to win it all. I've got 4, 5, 6 years, and I think you just eloquently stated it there. You got to be careful that even though you're rebuilding, you're still trying to win in order to keep those guys on the back end that are knowledgeable and know how to win, and you don't lose them.
Right. And when players that do the right thing every day, that perform, that are your culture type guys, when they get those contract extensions or when they get the long-term deals, that does a lot for your locker room. It does a lot for the players and how they view how things are run. But when they see our locker room is full of 1 or 2 year guys, it's difficult to build a culture that way, because even if you are doing everything the right way and you kind of see yourself out of the door during the off season or during free agency, it sends a bad message, particularly to the young players and your draft picks.
It's always good, pal, when you take time with us. We always enjoy this segment tremendously. Have a great day, Kyle.
Hey, you guys too. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. There you go. That's Kyle Vanden Bosch, his thoughts on the NFL and, of course, the Arizona Cardinals. Hey, Kyle is always driven by All City Towing, and All City Towing continues to grow, and they continue to hire good people. Are you looking for a new gig? then give All City Towing a try. Just go online, allcitytowing.com/careers. That's allcitytowing.com/careers. And they've got incredible benefits and very solid salary structure as well. Once again, want a new gig, want to work for a quality company? This is where you go. allcitytowing.com/careers. All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing, transport, and vehicle provider. It's allcitytowing.com. All right, everybody, coming up, the All Cardinals Hour continuing, which is sponsored by All City Towing. As Cardinals beat writer Bob McManaman will discuss the latest trade talks going on for DeAndre Hopkins. It's next, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
The D-backs end their spring with a 3-1 win versus the Guardians. They head to L.A. to face the Dodgers for Thursday's opening day. Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon.
Hey, Manuch, you there?
Looking as if wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins will remain with the team despite
and online at righttoyota.com.
Cool.
At Lerner & Rowe, we don't have empty slogans or make empty promises. What we do have is a history of proven results. In a wreck, need a check? We've collected billions of dollars for our clients, with over $1 billion recovered in the past 5 years alone. Make one call, that's all. And we have a team of legal professionals standing by, waiting to begin working on your case the moment you call. Call Lerner & Rowe today. Find out why we've been voted best law firm in Arizona for the past 8 years in a row.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
I'll check it right now.
Dos Equis.
Guys, I'm pretty impressed with Manuch. For how old he is, he's pretty good with technology.
910 on 910 Bracket Challenge. It's never too late. Play as you can win Twin Peaks man cards after every round. That's fanpick'em.com.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of Game Day.
What's up? I'm Tyrese Maxey, 21st overall pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, a guard for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm doing my very first podcast, Maxey on the Mic.
Tyrese.
We'll talk about games, catch up with some of my favorite NBA players, talk travel, food, music, who knows what else. Listen to Maxey on the Mic on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you go to get your podcast.
They say there are 2 things you can't avoid, death and taxes, but they don't know about AC Doctors Heating and Cooling. I have an AC Doctors air filtration system, a new AC, and I work out, so I'm a doctor, of sorts. I might live forever. And taxes? Well, I just had a brand new AC unit installed with a $2,000 federal tax credit, not to mention thousands of dollars in rebates, discounts, and utility savings. So do what the doctor ordered, an apple a day, and call AC Doctors at 602-767-7435 or visit theacdoctors.com for details.
Stunning design, unmatched intelligence, and a compact ready for anything build. Sometimes exceptional is the rule. The Mercedes-Benz GLA, member of the unrivaled SUV family. Learn more at MBUSA.com.
Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley
guys are hot.
Queen locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back, everybody, as we roll till 4 o'clock. We're at the Barrio Queen here in the Tempe Marketplace. Of course, it is Taco Tuesday and also El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. And with that, we say good afternoon, Arizona Republic AZ Central sports writer and columnist. It is, of course, Bobby Mack. Bobby, it's Jimmy B and Manuch. Welcome as always, pal. I'll hit you with the first question because we both talked about it today on the show, Manuch and I, and that is the DeAndre Hopkins question. So many reports out there saying that, okay, teams can talk to him about a possible trade, yet you have Coach Gannon coming out from the owners' meeting saying, well, we expect him to be here in a couple of weeks when we have OTAs. Where are you on all of this?
Yeah, it reminds me of Cliff Kingsbury telling everybody that Josh Rosen is our guy.
Yes, there you go.
I'm not putting a lot of stock in.
Yeah.
As of right now, he's our guy. I mean, I think Gannon's just trying to be encouraging as much as he can, but yeah, I think he's definitely going to be traded. It just depends on, how long the Cardinals are willing to stay in it to try and get the maximum value that they can. And, it's debatable what, after the Brandon Cook signing, DeAndre Hopkins is way better than Brandon Cook.
Sure.
Just in case everybody needs to be reminded of that.
Yeah.
But he's going to be 31, and he's got injury situations now the last 3 years, and he's coming off a PED suspension. You might not be able to get a second-round pick. Maybe you get a third and a sixth.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you get a third and a player, and that might be the best they can do. I think he's worth a second myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know how much he can change a game. You guys do too.
Sure.
But this team isn't going anywhere this coming season, so trading him and unloading that contract as much as you can and clearing some of that off the books is the best thing they probably could do, even though it'll be a sad day when he goes.
Bob, you've seen this happen many, many years covering the Cardinals and watch a lot of NFL teams. Very similar scenario situation. I agree. I think he's worth a second rounder. Now, whether that's the going market rate or not, but I think he's worth that bet. All that being said, we can have all this diatribe going on and minutia go up until whenever, till the cows come home. At what point do you need to make this deal? Prior to the draft, after the draft? When does this thing need to come to a head?
Yeah, I think much like last year when the Cardinals traded their first-round pick for Hollywood Brown, that's when it's going to happen. Probably the first or the second day of the draft, when the second and third picks or rounds of the draft commence on the April 28th. So that's when I think it's going to happen. But I could be wrong. Could happen before that. If they get the right offer, look, if Kansas City goes, look, he's worth a second-round pick. He can help guarantee we win a Super Bowl, perhaps. Then they'll probably do it. Maybe Buffalo feels the same way. We don't want Kansas City to get him because then it's going to be that much harder for us to get to the Super Bowl if KC's got him and we don't. So if you get those two teams getting really antsy at a draft deadline, you might be able to get that second-round pick. And I think that's why they're going to hold out as late as they can. Worst-case scenario, keep them. And that's not a bad-case scenario at all. You're just not going to win any games this year.
Bob McManaman joining us here, beat writer for the Cardinals, Arizona Republic, and at azcentralsports.com. One of your articles, losing Zach Allen and Byron Murphy Jr. isn't a disaster for Cardinals, at least yet, as we look at this. And you look at some of the free agent moves, Bob, I don't see where any holes were plugged here. The only thing I can imagine is you're going to have to, I feel, get Will Anderson to help replace at least the Zach Allen. From that standpoint, why do you feel it isn't a disaster to lose two of your stalwarts on that defense?
Well, I just don't think they're going to be high-end all-pros. I think they're very good young players that have a chance, but I think it's a wish to expect either one of those guys to become first-team all-pros. There's too many good players better than them in this league, and like I said, they're very good young players. But they have their faults too. They both had injury problems, all four of their years here, and I am not sold that they're even Pro Bowl players yet. So if you can replace that with a younger player, you don't have to pay him as much for 4 years or 5 years, whatever the case may be, wherever you draft their replacements. It's probably a better deal for a team that's rebuilding. I do not think it's a disaster at all. I love those guys. They were fun to cover. They were great young players, but I don't think they're Pro Bowl players, let alone all pros.
So you have come to the realization that the Cardinals, at least this coming season, will be bargain basement?
I would say that they'll be lucky to win 6 or 7 games. Yeah.
Okay.
If that means that. It doesn't mean they can't do it in a year after that. They could come bounce back. That's the year that they'll probably make a more of a splashy free agent type moves. They'll have more money in 2 years. They'll have some sort of development. They'll know what the system
3 minutes.
They'll be on the same page. They'll have some roster maneuverability to make those splash signings, and that's when you take a team that's on the rise and put them over the top and put them in the contention category. I don't know if it's going to happen in 2 years, but that's how it happens in this league regularly with teams who are smart. So, your rebuild doesn't have to be 3 to 4 years. NFL owners usually don't tolerate that. So it's pretty much 2 years or here we go again.
Bob, your latest mock draft has the Cardinals picking Will Anderson Jr. number 3. I wholeheartedly agree. I wouldn't mess around. Go get the kid, have some impactfulness, if you will, on that defensive line. Whether he's a stand-up defensive end, hand in the dirt, strong side backer, will side backer. You need that kind of impactfulness with that young man. I agree with you. Just go get it done.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to move off of that pick until I hear something negative at all, and I don't think I will about Will Anderson. I've talked to him, talked to his high school coach, talked to people who have broken down every single college game he's played, and there's nothing not to like about this guy. Now, here's the thing. I could definitely see the Cardinals trading with the Colts to drop down a spot. You still get Will Anderson.
Sure.
And you pick up a second-round pick. I hope that happens for their sake. That'd be great for them. You get more chances to add to your team. You can get that interior alignment. You can draft your center, or get an extra wide receiver in case you're willing to deal hop. Get that cornerback. You can do all kinds of things by moving down just one spot. So, but the key is you can't let Will Anderson go.
No way.
You trade down to 18 with or
1 minute,
11 or 14, or dealing with these other. You just have no idea if that player down there is going to be, worth it. I think this guy is. I don't think there's any question about it. He may not be a 20 sack guy, but I don't need a 20 sack guy. I need a guy that's going to replace. And Zach Allen was never going to be a 20 sack guy. Okay, he's going to be at the most 10, but most he's ever had was what, 5.5?
Yes. Yeah.
You can double that right away with Will Anderson.
Bob, we want to invite you tomorrow. Next week we'll be at the Barrio Queen in Avondale for El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday and Taco Tuesday. So we'll be out there doing our show. I want to invite you personally. Invite Bob McMahon. Come on out.
Right around the corner from the old compound there. I might have to join you for that.
That'd be awesome.
Little in person.
That'd be great.
Absolutely, to have one Bob
Maybe
McMahon
an extended appearance.
Yes, look at you. Tag.
I'm thinking ahead.
You are thinking. That's way too much thinking for this group right here for us. Hey,
all right.
Thanks for your time.
I'll probably be there.
All right, buddy.
We'll see you then.
We'll be tuning in on all the goings-ons with the
guys.
You bet. You bet. All the goings-ons. Bob McMahon joining us here on that right to the guest side. There, Will Anderson.
Yep.
You got D-Hop. There's a lot going on in this Cardinals organization.
There is.
And oh, by the way, the second, third, fourth, fifth, the draft per se, plus all the guys they've got to sign and plug holes. You know what? This team could be 0-4, 0-5 coming out of the chute.
I'm with you.
Without Kyler Murray. Maybe they're 1-4.
Yeah.
But there's a whole lot of work to be done with this Cardinals organization.
I like Bob's thought process when he said, okay, if you drop from 3 to 4, but you picked up a second-round pick for trading Hopkins, you would still get Will Anderson at 4.
You better be damn sure that nobody takes that Will Anderson if you pick it.
It's specifically the Seahawks at 5. You cannot. You missed out on obviously Nick Bosa with Kyler Murray. You face him twice a year. To face Will Anderson twice a year. Oh,
and you missed out on DK Metcalf several years ago. Andy Isabella, where's he at right now?
Really?
I mean, there's a lot of things. I'm like, you know what? I'm holding 3. I'm making sure I get my guy.
Fair enough. Hey, if your bracket is busted, and by the way, whose isn't, it is now time to play our 4-team bracket contest. $100 Twin Peaks man card and your height in Dos Equis. Just go to Fan Pick'em and sign up right now. All right, when we come back, it's our Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Odd Couple. Mic check. With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
Before the John Morant stuff came out and was public, watching that team, Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bain doesn't say a lot as far as I can tell, but he still has an attitude about him. I'm not saying he's a bad guy at all. He seems like a good guy. But they just seem like a young, cocky group of guys.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Today at 4, tell your smart speaker to play Fox Sports 910.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
There is stop-and-go traffic, Loop 101 northbound between Via de Ventura and Via Linda. We also have an accident. This is on the Red Mountain Freeway, Loop 202 westbound near 24th Street. It's sitting off to the left, stop-and-go traffic from 40th Street. Also an accident, 107th Avenue north of Highway 85. That's traffic.
This report is sponsored by MGM Rewards. Having the time of your life is more rewarding than ever when you visit any MGM Rewards destination nationwide. Dine, stay, play, and earn on all of it. Details at mgmrewards.com. Subject to earning and redemption limitations applicable to certain purchases and in certain states.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's turbo high output engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, this is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
Hey, it's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
Golfers, you won't want to miss the Vans Golf Shop's Wilson Golf Fitting event happening this week. This big event is your chance to check out the new Wilson Dynapower woods and irons. Come meet with the Wilson Golf team and get custom fit for the new Dynapower woods and irons. Schedule your custom fitting appointment online at Vans Golf Shops today. Don't miss it. It's happening this week. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
March is here. Be sure to head to fanpick'em.com to fill out your bracket and watch all the games at any of the 4 Twin Peaks locations. Details can be found at rockandmanuch.com. Once again, that's rockandmanuch.com.
Do you need a new AC unit or thinking about upgrading yours? I know I have. Hey, it's Jody Ayler from my friends at Plum Smart. Beat the heat this summer with a brand new efficient AC unit with my friends at Plum Smart. Not only are they about half the prices of the other guys, they're going to throw in a free green water purifier installed with every new AC unit. That's a $1,200 value. Call my friends at Plum Smart today. 480-654-8865. Or it's just plumsmart.com because plumbers and AC guys charge too much.
Ew. Gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks. No matter how many times I've washed it.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors. It helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in.
Sorry, I was trying to cut some over here. It's the Luka Doncic highlight.
Save on Downy Rinse and Refresh at Target.
It's the Lerner and Rowe. One call, that's all. Call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call. That's all. 602-977.
It's Luka combined with Jason Kidd.
Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
There's really nothing on tap, Jimmy.
Wood with the pass. Luka able to chase it.
You guys aren't high. You guys can still talk.
And they fouled in a situation like that before. How on earth did he find Hardy?
he was kind of trapped. I think that's what he does when he's.
Hey, just for future references, if I don't say you guys are hot, just you guys can talk. Don't worry about it.
Okay, pal. Thank you so much.
He's strong enough. I don't know if anybody else could make that pass, and then to be able to catch and shoot hard, he did that. I think not just once, but a couple times tonight from Luka's double teams and or some of the.
All right, you guys are hot.
He can make passes most guys can.
That was our one call. That's all. That is the Luka Doncic pass from last night's game from one corner to the other corner. And then it was the head coach of the Mavericks, Jason Kidd, commenting on it. It is indeed our one call. That's all. Lerner and Rowe, if you're in a wreck, need a check, just call them 602-977-1900. You can always check them out online as well. Or just one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. So, Manuch, I'm sitting here and I'm contemplating how this game tomorrow night is going to play out between the Suns and the Timberwolves. And I'm thinking that, all right, Durant, he's going to start. I know he will. There's no sense in bringing him off the bench. Start the dude. Does he play 25 minutes? Does he play 30 minutes like DeAndre Ayton did last night?
Well, 7 games ago, he could play 20, 25, 30. I mean, I think we were surprised when he came off the knee, the sprained knee. He was at, 25, 30 minutes, 35.
Yep.
But you got a Minnesota team that's coming in. They're playing for their playoff lives or their playoff seeding, if you will. The Suns are only a half game up on the fourth-place seed to the Clippers. So I think the way that the bench play is happening and how the flow of the game is and how Kevin Durant feels, quite frankly, will be determined by Kevin Durant. Because Monty Williams said, hey, look, he was going to put him on, what do you call it, the pitch count?
Pitch count.
Minute count, whatever that is.
Yeah, I just call it the pitch
and
count.
he said he was fine. And when you watch KD, he's so fluid. He's so effortless in all the things that he's doing. But I don't think he'd be out there, Jimmy, unless he's been up and down the court. He's in very good shape cardiovascular-wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just think as far as game shape, it may take him a couple games. But he couldn't come back at a better time when you've got Minnesota tomorrow night. You got Denver on Friday night. And then on Sunday, you got the Suns going to OKC. So the last, week and a half of basketball, let him get in shape. Let this team get situated. And let them get the flow and find out the roles, and let's go.
I think it's perfect timing, too, for this team, not only the Suns, but for Monty Williams to play Denver twice. I'd love to see how this team matches up with Kevin Durant, and you're finally healthy
2 minutes
against a healthy, good Nuggets team that you could play
there you go.
The second round or even third round in the Western Conference Finals.
All right, that brings us then to our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question of the day. Manuch, what do we got now?
All you have to do is just go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. Do you now feel confident the Suns bench will remain a major contributor once the playoffs start?
You've been preaching in the last week and a half or so that you're comfortable with it.
Is it yes, they are dialed in, or no, too inconsistent? Again, you can go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. Currently in the clubhouse leader, 55.6% say no, too inconsistent, and 44.4% say yes, they are dialed in. So if I think about this plays out till you can stop voting at 9 or 10 o'clock tonight, it might be 50-50.
Okay.
I think that the game tomorrow night, to see with KD playing and how the bench reacts, I think the next several games will get a pretty good litmus test now that KD is back in the lineup, how they react from there.
I could tell from the tone of your voice you weren't too happy about the results.
No, he didn't
like it. I got to think, you got 53 points one night, 57 points the other night. What part of the question do you not understand, people?
They're not sold on it. It's 2 games.
Well, and in fairness to a lot of folks, you got to remember, a few short weeks ago, they were only averaging 25 to 28 points per game.
Yeah.
They were 0 for a couple of nights. Then, was it 2 months ago, they were 45 points a game. So somewhere there lies the truth, wouldn't you say, Jimmy?
I would say so. All right, fair enough. Hey, tomorrow we're going to be doing the show in Chandler from Venezia's Pizzeria. We always have a good time there. Can't wait to throw down a couple of slices. And if your brackets are busted and whose aren't, well, just jump right in and you have a chance to win a $100 Twin Peaks fan card and your height in Dos Equis at Fan Pick'em. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Roc and Manuch with Jim.